Hey everyone, welcome to Jimmy John's Field for the most exciting day of the year. It is the championship game today. We have the Eastside Diamond Hoppers squaring up against the Utica Unicorns. Alongside Jeremy Otto, I'm Jenna Rose here to bring you today's call on the USPBL Network. Championship weekend is brought to you by our credit union. Huge thank you to them for making this possible and for all the fans to be able to come down here and enjoy this awesome game that we love to play. Jeremy, how excited are you to watch?
It's always a really exciting time. This whole weekend has been quite exciting as well. There's kind of a crowd developing here. A band is going to play the national anthem before today's game, and some other people are starting to file in as we get ready to open the gates here at Jimmy John's Field. But pretty exciting first couple games last night as well. Kind of the highlight, Kreitzer hitting his first professional home run in just huge fashion, giving his team a 3-0 lead. The emotion that came from him, you want to rewatch it. It was quite special. So could we see something like that here today? Who knows?
Yeah, it's definitely building up to that point in the season where everyone is coming in with that newfound energy, knowing that it is the championship game. We looked at the regular season, and the Utica Unicorns have taken 7 from the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, with the Hoppers only taking 3 from the Unicorns. But we've got to talk about the offense for the Unicorns, Jeremy, because earlier in the season they were stringing together hits wonderfully, but now it's been a little bit of a back and forth battle.
Yeah, and we talked about it kind of off air as well. If this Unicorns lineup was rolling the way they did at the beginning of the year, I'd say maybe stamping, along with Zach Jones and not playing at all before today, they might be the champion on paper. I think it's a little bit more of a toss-up, though, as we look at things. I know we're going to take a deeper dive a little bit later here in the pregame show, but I think it should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Felix Aberett leading the league in the regular season with 9 home runs is certainly predicted to have a stellar performance here today. But looking at the defensive side of things, we have Zach Jones taking the mound for the Unicorns. He has an ERA just north of 1, and for the Hoppers, it's going to be Pierce Banks.
Pierce Banks, kind of the prototypical Hoppers pitcher, I guess, this year, besides Adrian Cook. Really good command control, has been very accurate and, pretty consistent this year for the Hoppers overall. And you saw Adrian Cook do his thing last night. He finished with 113 pitches. I didn't really see that coming or expect that after I looked at the box score, but he gutted it out, a guy who had really been stretched out at the end of the year and did some great things to lead him down the stretch and to the 2 seed.
And we're going to take a quick look at the lineups here today for the championship game. Leading off for the Hoppers and patrolling center field will be Ben McConnell. Batting second will be Colton Horner out in right field. Pedro Castellano will be batting third, playing second base. The cleanup batter, who's also catching, is Felix Aberett. Joe Burke, stellar bat. He's batting 5th. He'll be at first base. Greg Vaughn Jr. batting 6th out in left field. Nick Kreitzer with his first professional home run last night, the designated hitter, batting 7th. Christian De Los Santos manning the hot corner, batting 8th. And to round up that lineup will be Adam De La Cruz, the shortstop.
For the Utica Unicorns, their lineup also brought to you by AAA Michigan. It's Frankie Luska leading things off and playing first base. Colby Johnson bats second and plays right. Drew Galassi in the 3-hole, looking for his first home run since July 3rd. What a big moment for that if he's able to launch it. He's playing center field. It's Childress, Phillips, and Curiel representing the rest of the heart of the lineup. Tucker Rayburn, John Hodo, and Kevin Lambert will round things out.
You want to join us here at 1:05 p.m. Utica Unicorns versus the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. So, Jeremy, I'm going to scoot. Andy Appleby is going to make his way here to the stage, and you're going to get some insight from him for what it means here on Championship Day for the USPBL. We'll be right back.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Your neighbors are going to be jealous when they see you're getting a new Connecticut water system. Say goodbye to hard water problems. No more spots on your glassware. Your laundry will feel and smell better. Your hair and skin will look and feel better. Say goodbye to hard water problems and say hello to great tasting crystal clear water with CGC Water.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. It's oh so close to first pitch of our championship game here with Andy Appleby. Always an exciting time. And how about it? Championship number 6, pretty good, right?
It really is. This is always the most exciting weekend for me. Certainly our opening weekend and our All-Star weekend are fun, but this is all about the competition. And these kids, they don't take a pitch off during the season, but there's just another level of gear that they have for this playoffs. I mean, a lot of these teams are together for 4 or 5 months, and they've developed a real closeness and cohesiveness. But the other aspect of it is that these kids are maybe in some cases throwing the last pitch of their career or their last at bat. And it's really a very emotional time, and there's a lot of tears in those losing locker rooms this last Friday and Saturday in particular. And again, I'm sure we'll see the same thing tonight, or today rather.
It's a legit ring that they get too. I mean, it's a really nice one.
It is. I have one right here. This is the Unicorns championship ring from the first year, and of course, this next one will be similar to that, but the Unicorns, this is a great storyline here, winning potentially 3 in a row. But if I had a chance to pick an opponent, it would be the Diamond Hoppers. The Diamond Hoppers have been extremely competitive over the last 5 years, and yet they've never won it. So this is their real opportunity for Paul Nochi to take home the win. But it's going to be very hard to beat the Unicorns. There's a real advantage of winning the regular season, as you know, where they get that bye all the way to the finals. Today, they get to rest their pitchers. Their players are all rested and ready to go, whereas the Diamond Hoppers had to win last night and use quite a few of their pitchers.
Overall, you just take a step back, and a challenging 2 years for a lot of reasons, a lot of moving parts, kind of settled down, as the year went on, and it was great to see full crowds on, the Fireworks Fridays and every other night as well. But I guess stepping back and kind of reflecting on what it's been, what has it been like at an ownership level, I guess?
Well, certainly almost nothing could have really hurt us, but then COVID came along. And when I say nothing hurt us, of course we could have had downturns in the economy or the auto industry, going backwards a little bit. But none of us ever could have dreamed of COVID and only having 100 people in the stands for much of last year. And so, even though we're not quite back to pre-pandemic levels, I can't imagine that any other teams in America sold out, half of their games like we did this year. So it's still very gratifying to get those fans back, and again for them to be so happy, and that's what I miss most. I probably miss most the kids having fun, and not having our playground open, etc. But now, it's so much fun. You take the last 2 nights have been just magical here.
And what's next, I guess, for the USPBL, because you're always looking to build and create new things and new features to the ballpark and elsewhere. But what do you think is the next step to, grow the league?
Well, continuing to grow the player side. As you know, we've been doing interviews for a while on this network, and maybe that first year I would have said if we can get 1 or 2 players signed by major league teams, I'll be happy. And now we're up to 45 players, and so it's a that in and of itself is a dream come true, including having Randy Dobnak start today for the Twins. I mean, it's crazy. He was pitching here for the Unicorns just in 2017. But, we need to continue to upgrade the ballpark, which we do every year. We do want to have expansion. The COVID really stopped us in our tracks a little bit. We had 2 or 3 different communities across America that had to sort of not do anything for 18 months. And so it's harder to sort of restart those talks. You got new mayors, new city councils. It's much harder than it seems. And frankly, although I would have hoped for another ballpark or 2 by now, we're still on schedule. And again, we'd like to have another ballpark within 2 years of today.
Awesome. Well, I guess your overall expectations for what we'll see here today as well.
Yeah, so again, I think the Unicorns are, a heavy favorite just because they're well rested. They've got some of the best pitchers in our league, one of the best players probably that ever played here, and Drew Galassi. So I really expect the Unicorns to win, but again, it's baseball, and the Diamond Hoppers have been meeting. They're really poised to win this, and again, who knows?
Well, Andy, thanks for stopping by here today. Excited for first pitch just in a couple moments here.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. And you, by the way, have done a wonderful job these last 2 years with us, and I'm really happy that you're with us.
I appreciate it. It's always been a dream of mine here ever since this ballpark opened to call games, so it's been a lot of fun as well. Andy Appleby, first pitch when we get back here on the USPBL Network.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
The playoffs on the USPBL Network is presented by our credit union and sponsored by the following: AAA, Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, Valpak, and UWM. We thank all those fine partners for what they do for this league. One more game to play. These teams have obviously played each other quite a bit throughout the year, but always a little bit different feeling even though you played each other so much.
Yeah, no, we're definitely looking forward to see what both teams bring to the table here for Championship Sunday. And I mean, man, Jeremy, it's kind of sad that the season is wound down now. A lot of excitement and a lot of new faces coming into the league, and really it's been fun all around.
Well, the teams lining up here, they announced the whole roster, which is kind of cool to hear before the final postseason game of the year. The Unicorns looking for their 3rd straight championship win. That would be quite the feat. Kind of mixed pieces as they've moved along. The Unicorns roster is shaped up, or the Hoppers roster is shaped up a bit sooner this year, but both of these lineups are pretty good.
Yeah, most certainly, and especially looking at the Hoppers, we have to talk about Felix Averett. Led the league in home runs during the regular season with 9, also led the team in RBIs with 21, and he's just been a dominant force at the plate during games of late during the regular season. Another notable candidate, Joe Burke, 745 slugging percentage during the regular season, and we got a pretty good sample size of Burke as someone who came in a little later, and we look at Greg Vaughn Jr., Ben McConnell, both stellar, both making major contributions for the lineup. And Obviously, we talk about the Unicorns, one of the favorite teams here in the league, and especially for what they've done offensively. And we've alluded to it a little bit, but they were really hot in the early stages of the season, and now kind of winding down. But the stats wouldn't really reflect it. Looking at batting averages, no one is hitting over 300, but they're getting a lot of hard outs. They're able to put the barrel on the ball. So really just looking for them to get that spark that we've seen and what Unicorns fans know and love.
Two of these Unicorns were in this very lineup last year. Frankie Luska, who's just announced, heading out to first base. And, of course, John Hodo, he caught the final out on a line drive at second base last year to secure the USPBL Championship. Always good to have veterans in that respect as well.
Oh, most certainly. And, I mean, Hodo, talk about him offensively as well. Really consistent, hanging it up there with some of the best in this potent lineup.
Well, it's the Unicorns and the Hoppers vying for the USPBL Championship next. Don't go anywhere.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Elite athletes want to be closer to what fuels them. So we built them a gym behind the milk section.
What's going on here?
Oh, they're training.
What? In the milk section? What is happening?
What you guys are doing here?
I've always had milk in my fridge, but I've never really trained in a fridge surrounded by milk. I feel like I've been able to level up my training and do things that others haven't.
No, they're training back there. It's a full gym.
Hey guys, keep it up.
Being close and nearby milk, it's how I hydrate, it's how I recover. It's important to be at arm's reach.
People keep repeating that you'll never fall in love, and everybody keeps retreating, but you can't seem to get enough. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA councils.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. A little bit of moment of silence here as the colors exit the field after the national anthem. Nice rendition of the national anthem as well while we were in break by the Anchor Bay High School Marching Band. Just about ready to go here in this fine game here today. Jenna, your keys to the game, what do you think?
Yeah, well, the keys to the game, especially for the Unicorns, is going to be able to string together hits consistently. While they've shown power throughout the entire lineup, it's going to be so crucial that they're able to get some hits in play and get some runs on the board, especially going up against the lineup that has been producing arguably the most pop in the USPBL during the regular season in the latter stages, like the Hoppers. And altogether for both teams, really just making sure defense, they're taking the time, make their plays, not think too far ahead, because it's always hard to shake off those jitters heading into Championship Sunday. But when we've had the opportunity to speak with these players, most of them are saying, hey, they're treating it like a regular game today. You want to make sure it's just a game of baseball.
Any picks for you for a winner?
I feel like I'm going to jinx it, but I mean, if we're just kind of talking about what's been happening and looking at the sample size from more recent games, I would say it would most likely be the Hoppers. You know, I think Banks has a lot of good stuff to work with out on the mound, and Jones does as well, but really the Hoppers have just been able to see the ball very well in the strike zone, able to capitalize and get things moving around on the base paths, and they're not afraid to steal, and that's kind of something you don't always see with the Unicorns. How about you?
Well, I've kind of sided in my mind with the Hoppers as well, but you can never count out the back-to-back champions looking for a three-peat here today. Does that help them? Does it hurt them? It's tough to know. But either way, I think we should see a pretty good game here today. And the question is maybe which bullpen is better, I think. Zach Jones has given them decent length, Pierce Banks as well, but this is a 9-inning game for sure no matter what. There's no time limit or anything like that, so the bullpen is going to be a factor. Well rested for the Unicorns, does that help them more or hurt them more on the pitching side and on the hitting side? It's to be seen. They did make sure that they got in a couple exhibitions, I guess is what they ended up calling them, on Monday and Tuesday, just because in the Unicorns case, they haven't played in a long time in front of the public eye, so that was key for them, just a little bit of a tune-up, get these hitters some reps, and obviously they've been practicing ever since as well, getting ready for tonight's game, but should be a fun one.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, it's a nice turnout today here on a Sunday. Everyone joining us at Jimmy John's Field, and thank you for joining us here on the USPBL Network as the game is about to get underway.
Ben McConnell making his way into the box here.
Yeah, McConnell has been a leader across the board here for the Hoppers in the regular season. .317 batting average with the highest, most amount of hits, 33, 9 doubles, 24 runs, leading in those categories. So really someone that you want stepping into the box to get the game rolling on Sunday.
McConnell, Horner, and Castellano, your Zach Hart agency men on deck to begin this game. First pitch at 110, shifted back.
These Hoppers bats are so fun to watch. Across the board, they've been pretty aggressive early in the count.
80 degrees at game time here today. It is a little bit more of a muggy 80 than what we've seen in the last, I don't know, a week or so now. That humidity was kicked away for a while, but it's back again here today, along with the bright sunshine, covered by some just stretched out clouds as well, but it is much more bright than the way we started the day, and the drive in pretty cloudy looking. 2-1 on McConnell. 1 for 4 last night. Looks to slap this one down the left field line. Nice job by Phillips. He clotheslined on that real quick.
Well, we had the opportunity to speak with Willie Martin heading into the game, and that's something that he raved about with Phillips is his athleticism. He's very speedy, and there we go, getting the job done for the first out of the game.
Check the defense behind Zach Jones today, brought to you by AAA of Michigan. It's Phillips in left, Colossi in center, Johnson in right, Lambert and Leska on the corners, Hodo and Curiel up the middle, with Rayburn behind the plate. Quickly 0-1 on Colton Horner. Nothing screams at you besides the home run yesterday in terms of production. Chris De Los Santos also had a double later on in that game after the home run, but wasn't really cashed in. So pretty modest, but offense at the right time, I guess, for the Hoppers.
Yeah, and it's always interesting, too. They went up against the Beavers, and they're kind of notorious for getting runs on the board later in the game. And like you said, offensively, weren't really stringing together much. Same for the Hoppers, but, man, what a breakthrough for Kreitzer to get that 3-run home run.
And you talk about runs late. If it was a 7-inning game or maybe even a time limit game, because it was one of the longer contests we've seen in a while, about 3.5 hours, but the Beavers might have just come all the way back in that one, scoring runs in 5th, 6th, and 7th innings of that, one each. Change-up filtered foul again off the bat of Horner.
Yeah, Jones has a couple of different pitches to play with in his arsenal. Really a fastball slider kind of guy. Will incorporate that changeup like you just saw, and his curveball has been a little bit under construction as of late, so not sure how much of that we're going to see in a big game like this.
It hasn't used it a whole lot coming into this game here today. Now the 1-2. 92 right back at him.
Yeah, those fastballs typically sit in the high 80s, low 90s. The two-seam is maxed out at 93.
Change up away. Horner taking it all the way. 3-2. Horner playing right field for the second consecutive game. Aubert catching once again. Here's Curiel. 1 up, or 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah, Curiel is definitely one of the well-known shortstops here in the league, and really comes down to his range, his pre-pitch approach. Everything comes across as very professional and gets the job done.
We've heard even other guys talk about, hey, I've communicated with him or try to learn from him, learning his range and what he wants to communicate kind of as the ball is coming to you.
Definitely a student of the game.
First pitch to Castellano is down low, but no, in there for strike one, I beg your pardon. 0-1.
You had a long weekend, Jeremy. It's okay.
We have to watch extra careful today because we missed that big one the other day, but today, we'll see. Lambert over to first. Got that one for the third out here in the first inning. Nice job by Zach Jones. Works some 1, 2, 3 here in the first. Down to Chelsea Estes now.
presented by Thrifty Florist. He found a very, very special fan in the stands today to give a very beautiful bouquet of flowers to, and his special sweetheart today is Beverly. So Beverly, congratulations for being JJ's sweetheart. Enjoy those beautiful flowers presented by Thrifty Florist. Johnny, back to you.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA councils.
Welcome back, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field. Pierce Banks climbing atop the hill for the Hoppers. He will face Frankie Luska, Colby Johnson, and Drew Galassi, brought to you by Zach Hart Agency here in the first. Take a look at the defense behind Banks here today, brought to you by AAA of Michigan. It's Vaughn Jr. in left, McConnell in center, Horner out in right, De Los Santos and Burke on the corners, Castellano and De La Cruz, your double play combination here today with Alvarez catching the pitches of Banks.
Banks comes into this game with an ERA of 2.48, 1-4 record, has 36 2/3 innings of work under his belt, allowed 33 hits, 13 earned runs, has walked 13 and struck out 39.
We say hello to Jason Beckler, Jason Kirkman, Eric Herbert, Blake, Diane, Paige, Sam, Amy, all chiming in the chats here today. A lot of you predicting and or rooting for their respective teams here today. Really snappy inning for Zach Jones. You love to see it. First pitch to Luska. In there for strike one. We talked about it with Verbrugge last night, but Banks, another guy that has a really good curveball. Curveball and slider mix for him. That one in for strike two. Curveball at 73, so 2 in a row.
Yeah, I feel like we normally don't find Luxka in this situation with an 0-2 count.
We've certainly seen him dig all the way back, though, and get a walk in these scenarios as well. Wow, 3 straight curveballs to begin this game for Pierce Banks.
You have 30 walks during the regular season for Luxka. Definitely a threat in the box because, as you said, Jeremy, he knows how to work a count.
Banks holding an extra beat. The 1-2 outside. 2-2 on Luska now.
Yeah, and Banks is giving it all he's got. In previous outings, we've seen him really max out just a little over 90 miles per hour, and that's what he's throwing right now.
Golf right back at Burke. Says, I got it all the way, and the quick 3 unassisted here in the first.
Yeah, Burke took a hard hop there, but played it like a pro. He's able to get his throwing hand on top and gets the first out.
Brings up Colby Johnson now. Him and Drew Galassi, the other two, due up in inning number 1.
Yeah, Johnson is definitely someone that I have pegged as having a really good at-bats throughout this game. Very consistent, has a lot of power. It's been a key for the Unicorns ever since he joined the lineup.
Brings that element of speed certainly at the top of the order as well. And this Unicorns lineup, one of the more speedy lineups up and down when you look at it. Luska with decent tracking speed. Johnson maybe some of the best. Galassi can move it for a bigger guy. Phillips, Curiel, Hodo. All guys that you talk about that are right there. Little pop fly. Horner and Castellano, the two edging for it, and Pedro wants it behind the second base bag for out number 2.
Yeah, Castellano made it look pretty easy, catching it over his shoulder there. Getting pretty close to Horner, but good communication, and these outfielders and infielders have had the opportunity to have that team chemistry and understand each other's range throughout the season.
Here's Drew Galassi still leading this team in slugging percentage. Got out to that ultra hot start. He was hitting over 1,000 slugging at one point.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of extra base power during that span. 5 doubles, 1 triple, and 8 home runs.
Hasn't hit one in a long time. This one popped up foul. And you just wonder whether that start was sustainable. Obviously, it's so many home runs in such a short amount of time. But we've been surprised he hasn't popped out a few more. Another curveball. That's working well for Banks here tonight, throwing it with ultra confidence. That shift on him, they've been doing that really the second half of the season. The shortstop, De La Cruz, basically playing the position of second baseman in a double play scenario here. Everybody back on the outfield. A little bit of room in there in left center. Here's the 2-2. Caught the zone for strike 3. I think Banks technically missed his spot just the way Abaret reacted, but luckily for him, it was right in the strike zone, and Galassi didn't swing. How about it? 1, 2, 3 breezes for both of these pitchers.
So I was snowboarding in Lach, Switzerland at a snowboard competition, and I did basically 2 flips and 1 rotation coming out of it.
David had a bad injury to his shoulder and unfortunately was unable to continue doing what he liked to do sports-wise.
I knew I was going to be out of commission for a little bit.
We were able to do surgery, do this arthroscopically, do this outpatient, minimally invasive.
The sports medicine team at Ascension, Michigan really helped me get back to soccer and working out, but also my main goal, competing at a global snowboarding competition.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
Attention Michigan, there is absolutely no need to drive all over town searching for new flooring. When the Carpet Guys will come to your house on your schedule, we'll bring our store to your door so you can shop in the comfort and privacy of your own home. And you'll love our huge selection. Buy right now with interest-free financing for up to 4 years. You can carpet your entire home for as little as $11.99 per month. Let the Carpet Guys take the stress out of buying new flooring. Call for a free in-house shopping experience today.
Be wise, call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS.
Welcome back, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field. So glad you could join us on this fine Sunday for some baseball. Shane McCaddy and company were kind of speculating that this might be the warmest last game of the year we've ever had here at the USPBL. But regardless, nice crowd has shown up here tonight. First pitch to Abaret. Fastball that slings inside. So both Jones and Banks very efficient in that first inning, working 1, 2, 3 frames. Abaret takes a large swing at that one and loops it foul. All contact for Zach Jones. He got behind in a couple counts, but was able to work his way back with really soft contact all the way around. Couldn't hold up there. The appeal says he did go.
And that's something that he's going to want to do against Abaret, who, as we know, is very dominant in the batter's box and is able to put that barrel where it needs to go.
The 1-2. Pounded him away, 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Oh, go ahead.
We're just not in sync today, huh?
Here's the 2-2. Ooh, frame back in. The changeup just called off the plate outside. Full count now.
I was just going to say, with some of the big hits that we've seen come off the bat of Aberrett, he's really been able to work it to the pull side.
Clubbed into the glove of Lambert at third base.
Well, just like that, we see a bit of that pull side pop there. And what a laser into the glove of Lambert, but quick reaction time. It's kind of a conversation between him and Childress for that spot, but when you look at what Childress is able to do in the box, he's kind of a bat-first kind of player, and Lambert, defensively, was previously a shortstop, so displays that range and skill set over on the hot corner.
4 up and 4 down against Zach Jones thus far. First pitch to Burke, changeup, in for strike 1. A 1 in between Curiel and Lambert here.
Yeah, the two righties kicking off the top of the second here. Good timing, sending it hard over to the left side, but Burke able to find a hole and get on, and they're a pretty good 4-5 punch here for the Hoppers. Up next is Greg Vaughn Jr., his father a Silver Slugger for the Padres back in the day.
Looking to come up big again here today for the Hoppers. Fastball away, 1-0. Vaughn Jr., Kreitzer, De Los Santos, De La Cruz. 6 through 9 in the order, brought to you by Zachart Agency here today. Short lead for Burke over at first. And the fastball slings in for strike 1.
Yeah, this part of the order here for the Hoppers can get a lot done. And looking at Greg Vaughn Jr.'s skill set, led the team during the regular season with his .429 on base percentage. So usually finds a way to get on.
Double play maybe. Hodo to Curiel. Easy. Smooth sailing after the first. Base runner reaches here in the second inning. Jones looking pretty good.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Time to take a look at your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Facts here today. All championship theme. The New York Yankees have won the most World Series championships with 27. Tom Brady has more appearances in Super Bowls 10 than any other team, except one, of course, the New England Patriots. And Bill Russell has won the NBA Finals 11 times out of his 13-year career. Your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Facts here today. As Banks climbs back atop the hill. What was that, a tailor-made double play for Zach Jones? Went 4-6-3. Hodo, Curiel, and Luska turned it very smoothly.
Yeah, when we think about the duos up the middle that produce very well, we always kind of think of the Mammoths and Navarro and Guzman, but Curiel over here is also able to get it done. His partner over at second.
Childress, Phillips, Curiel, your Zachart Agency 3 men due up here in the second. First pitch from Banks, shuttered to De Los Santos, who took a wicked hop at the end. And Childress says thank you to the infield there.
Yeah. Looks like it took De Los Santos by surprise. I was just going to say, when we look at Childress, he's been very consistent as of late when he stepped into the box and aggressive on the first pitch, but like you said, took that wicked hop and gets on.
Isaac Phillips hitting .250 in less time than most here in the USPBL. Came in a little bit late. Some of those rounds of cuts that we had. There's a look at Jim Essien. 1991 manager of the Chicago Cubs, trying to win another ship here at the USPBL. 1-0. High, 2-0. Nice article on Jim in the Detroit News. You just hear it all over Twitter. I saw a pitcher that's already moved on from his team kind of share that earlier as well. Everybody very complimentary of what Jim does to their baseball career, bringing him here a lot. I mean, he not only picks up players for his team, but handles a lot of scouting and uses his connections around the business to get some of the better players here.
Yeah, he's definitely someone who's given a lot back to the game.
2-1, shifted foul. And some may think, hey, what's the former big league manager, former affiliate coach for a long time, big leaguer himself for nearly 15 years doing here, but he enjoys it. You can tell. And he enjoys winning, too.
That's for sure.
The 2-2. Knocked foul. A slider hung high, as Banks says, my bad there.
It's really cute. He likes to give the rings to his grandkids.
Yes, I like to hear that. That's fun. He has a number of them. It's a pretty good get for a grandkid, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of those? They're nice. Actually, Andy Appleby in our pregame show pulled out the first ever championship ring for the USPBL out of his pocket earlier.
Well, the only one I've seen is Miguel Sereno's. He showed me it during one of the non-public games. It looked pretty sweet.
The 2-2. Trouble if it's fair, but it'll roll foul.
Yeah, just on top of it there, but Phillips doing his best to stay alive.
Bobbleheads are back here in the booth. Jenna picked up a fine Metro Detroit Chevy dealer's mascot yesterday. JJ has been chilling up here in the corner, but we brought him out.
How could you forget Corey's name?
I know. I tried to cover it up.
That was a good save.
I tried to. Poked into right. And how about this start for the Unicorns in the second after Banks set them down 1-2-3.
Well, the Unicorns doing what they do best, getting on base here. Phillips able to work that at bat, wear out Banks a little bit, who kept it very efficient in the first inning.
Well, JJ is going to be lonely after a while. I know he hangs out in the General Sports offices out in Rochester in the offseason quite a bit more than he would otherwise. Is he missing a bone in his mouth here or a bat, obviously?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I think he's supposed to have one. Well, he's probably got one down there, so all is well.
Yeah, that's the thing about our door. It's usually always closed, where the other doors in the press box are open for the most part. But JJ would wander in otherwise if it was open, sometimes in the middle of the game when he's getting out of the sun or pregame/postgame. Best friends with our crew member Stewart. Fly ball to right center field. McConnell ranging back on this one. Makes the catch for the first out as Childress will advance to third base here.
Curiel definitely sent that one with some power. High fly over into center there, and Childress, notice how deep it was and was able to get to third.
Certainly has some pop for extra base hits this year. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen it come out a bit more for Korea.
Yeah, and he's had some ups and downs too with consistency, but definitely one that we would think of when it comes to that category for the Unicorns.
And doesn't really take it over to his defensive game. Key for a guy that can pick it so well like him. Tucker Rayburn looks at that one outside. Rayburn, Hodo, and Lambert, your Zach Hart agency, 3-men due up.
Yeah, we didn't really see much of Rayburn during the regular season at the plate. 28 at-bats.
On the ground to Castellano, high hop, feeds it over to second in time, over to first, pulled him off. And that will be the difference in the double play and a run here as Noah Childress scratches the plate.
Well, Rayburn definitely got the job done there. The goal is you want to get runs on the board early, especially against a team like the Eastside Diamond Hoppers where you know they have some pop in their bats. And up next comes a bat for the Unicorns that has been extremely consistent as of late, is tied with Galassi with leading the team in batting average.
Outside to Hodo here. John has definitely elevated his average. He was below the Mendoza line for a good amount earlier. One pop foul, now checking into play today at 275. Pretty much been that everyday second baseman for Jim Essien. Back-to-back years. Came in a little bit later last year, but hit 300 in about 50 at-bats or so. Helped lead them to that championship, as we said earlier. Made the final out of the championship game last year. Whoa. Huge jump. They're not paying any attention. That lollipops its way into center field. Tucker Rayburn took off without even the throw coming home.
Wow. Well, you have to be heads up on Championship Sunday. Make things happen, and that just sets the stage here for Hodo. 1-1 count.
2 outs in the inning, so everybody else fairly back. With a run already in for the Corns, into the glove of Joe Burke down at first base. Some nice plays by the corner infielders so far here today. The Unicorns do strike first in this one, however.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
I'm all out of love for my old insurance. Switch to insurance. They're saving me so much. They covered my car and bundled with my home. I feel so secure to say I love insurance.
Hello, AAA Insurance.
Goodbye, insurance. Hello.
Insurance.
Get a quote and save up to 20%.
Marching band here today that played your national anthem from Anchor Bay High School, a local product in the Metro Detroit area, and certainly in this Macomb area as well. Look at that. A little bit more than just a drum line.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that before.
Playing upside down. I think I might throw up if I did that.
Yeah, I don't know if you could hang that long upside down.
Oh. The star of the show here today, Zach Jones. Back on the hill here, 4-6-3 double play in the second. He's faced the minimum in back-to-back innings. And it was an easy double play right to John Hodo, fed it to Curiel, slid right across the second base bag, and fired a dart over to Frankie Luska.
Yeah, they really made that look effortless for the double play. Now, here comes Kreitzer, who is starting to find some consistency and power at the plate.
I talked to him for a few minutes before the game here today. He did not expect it or know for sure that the ball was out yesterday, but quite the celebration that unfolded in such a huge moment in that ball game, and it did end up being the difference.
Yeah, and good for him too, because you know how much work he's putting into his swing.
High and away to Nick here. 1 for 4 last night with that 3-run home run.
And Jeremy, you predicted that home run was going to happen.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
We had the note card is still here.
Yes, it is. But you thought it was going to go
to right field.
Yes.
Yes.
And he worked it a little opposite there.
1-1 into right field for a base hit here.
All right, well, we were just talking about it. I mean, most of the time we're seeing balls go to his pull side there when he makes solid contact.
Adrian Cook, calm, cool, and collected over there in the shades after his 6-inning outing last night. 3 hits given up, just 2 runs, only 1 earned. The one bugaboo for him, 5 walks to 6 Ks, but really able to limit the damage on the walks in general, and a lot of those were later as he stretched out his pitch count. And again, I said in the pregame show, but it was actually 116 pitches. I said 113 earlier, I think, but that was more than I thought. But I guess it makes sense because with the walks and some of the strikeouts he was able to get early on. But he was around 70 to 80 on average in his starts because he hadn't started games in a while. And even before he got to the USPBL, didn't do much competitively on the field because of COVID in 2020, graduated in 2019, so there was a little bit of a lag there as well. But he talked very openly about how he thought starting really did him a lot of good. I mean, the results started to turn the page, which is sometimes interesting. You don't know how that's always going to translate with a pitcher coming out of the bullpen than going into a more conformed role and routine as a starter. But he has talked several times about what it was able to do for him in terms of using his pitches. So as a closer, pretty much, at least at the professional level, fastball slider. In college, just really fastball because it was such a good one. 94 to 96 as it's ranged here as well. The 1-2 off the end of the bat and foul, the change again.
Yeah, and on that note, Jeremy, we've seen some successful transitions from the bullpen to the starting role, and that kind of revealed itself during championship weekend. We saw Johnny Breidenthal take the mound for the Mammoths in Game 1, and then Adrian Cook, Game 2 for the Hoppers, the righty.
Right back at him. Look out. All you can do is react to that one.
Yeah, and the way you react is get out of the way. Wouldn't be able to poke your glove out in time for that one, but I was just going to mention, too, with Kreitzer and Christian De Los Santos last night, we talked about it, the 3-run home run followed up by a double from De Los Santos, but there's power all throughout this lineup. Now leads to runners on first and second. You don't always need those big hits to get the job, too. You can see there just some hard line drives to get through.
Adam De La Cruz sees the third baseman Lambert come in here. First pitch in for strike one. Ben McConnell on deck. 0 for 1 with a pop out to left. Golfed into left field over the glove of Curiel, and now the pond is full of hoppers.
Bit of a wild throw there. Navarrete able to stop it. And I was just going to say, during the regular season, De La Cruz was hitting 200 with runners on base, so he's someone that kind of shows that he can put the ball in play successfully at times here for the Hoppers.
So Ben McConnell, some more speed coming to the plate. Maybe looking to get into the gap and watch him run here. This one up the middle. Hodo, or check that Curiel reaches out, tags the second base bag, over to first. But the run does score. It's 1-1. But they'll probably trade that for 2 outs in this scenario.
Yeah, that's always a tricky situation, coming up with bases loaded. Must have seen something he liked from Jones right away to try and take advantage of that, but it ended up working itself into a double play. Was 1 for 9 during the regular season when bases were loaded, and it seems like he found himself in that situation quite a bit.
First pitch to Horner, slider outside, 1-0 on Colton. 3-2 ground ball his last time up back in the first. That was to the shortstop Curiel as well. Middle of the infield has been busy so far here today. Castellano on deck. These pitchers have done a good job limiting the base runners thus far.
Yeah, but the Hopper is able to tie it up here in the third.
Big pitch here. Rayburn trying to pull it back. 2-2 on Colton. Another slider away. Full count now. Leadoff single by Kreitzer, followed up by 2 in a row by De Los Santos and De La Cruz. Kreitzer scored, but that is all that will become of the bases loaded here in inning number 3. That's your fifth third out of the game here at Jimmy John's Field. Fifth third bank, I should say. Now time for JJ the Water Boy as well, presented by Michigan First Credit Union. Uh-oh. He lost the basket.
Oh, JJ.
Now we got a ball. Now he's a little confused, I think, on where to go.
You think in the postseason, he's had a couple of times to get it right.
He still gets his treat, so all is well with the world. Down to Chelsea Estes again.
Go. All right, Jaden. Lancelot's still looking a little slow. I think you can go after him in 3, 2, 1. Go get him. All right, Jaden. Ribby and I are going to meet you at home plate. I know Ribby's rooting for you. Lancelot's getting a little slow. Jaden is picking up pace. All right, fans, he's rounded, about to get to third. Oh, no, Lancelot. Lancelot is so tired, he tripped over his own feet. Jaden, I think you got this one in the bag. All right, give me a high five. You're going to win this one with no problem. Nice job.
Lance is going to need to see the trainer now after that tumble at second base.
Well, hopefully he's the only unicorn that trips up on the bases here today.
Jay Muddum comments on Facebook, hoping Paul Nochi and his Diamond Hoppers gets his first USPBL Championship today. It will be very well deserved for his 40th year in the game. There you go. Got a lot of baseball lifers certainly around the USPBL. Ed Campanella has seen a lot of time as a player in the independents and certainly managing as well with the Beavers. Taylor Jellikowski and John Dombrowski sort of getting their start in the head managerial role, but have been around the game in different facets for a long time as well. Of course, we've already talked about Jim Essien as well.
Then there's us, Jeremy.
There's us.
Not good at baseball.
You're pretty good at softball, though.
Yeah, different sport. Don't have much left in the tank anymore.
You sure about that?
Yeah, if I play a game of catch, I'm toast the next day.
But they speak very highly. Willie Martin, when he sees you play catch, he's like, that's a good arm.
Well, he's a very nice guy, Jeremy.
Lambert, Luska, Johnson, Zach Hart Agency, 3-men due up here in the third.
Yeah, I didn't see too much of Lambert during the regular season, only 28 at-bats. Had a 286 batting average.
First pitch to Lambert. Slider away from him. The breaking balls today, both the slider and the curveball, have looked pretty good for Piers Banks thus far. We've seen a lot of first pitch breaking balls as well from him.
And that's how you know that a pitcher is confident in what they like to throw and they can open up with a pitch like that.
Tipped in a couple very early curveballs to Frankie Luska to begin the Unicorns at bats. Banks has pretty much been a starter all season long. We've seen some of these hoppers flip in and out of roles. 1-2, chopped right back at him. Not an easy play for a pitcher as he chucks it over to first base.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. He's making his way in foul territory and kind of has to loop it over the base runner to get it to Burke. Now going back to the top of the lineup, we'll face Frankie Luska.
I'm going to guess these teams maybe took some PFP, pitchers fielding practice, before the playoffs started. Not something you really do in the middle of the year, kind of a spring training type of deal. And then right around now, when a play like that could potentially make or break your season, or a run scored in a key spot. Luska back in the first, a 3 assisted to Burke over at first base. Fastball low and away, 2-0.
Now this is normally the start you see for Luska, 2-0 count instead of 0-2.
Yeah, but with that said as well, he worked 0-2 back to 2-2, so not too bad.
No.
That one carved inside for strike one.
Yeah, and Luxa has talked about his plate discipline previously in the season, and really he just feels that he gets a good eye for the ball as it's coming out of the pitcher's hand.
2-1, curveball inside. You could see he tracked that one all the way as well. The lone run for the Unicorns. Leadoff single in the second, cashed in. The RBI fielder's choice by Tucker Rayburn. He avoided a double play. Now Luska way ahead, and he looks at another walk. 31 on the year if you combine postseason to regular season.
And that'll send up a bat in this Unicorns lineup where consistency has kind of dropped off a bit, but we talked about it before. The stats don't necessarily reflect the kind of bats the Unicorns have. Normally making hard contact.
First pitch to Colby Johnson. Fastball away, 1-0. Johnson popped out to the second baseman, Castellano. Couldn't hold up the swing. We've seen some plays just like that. I feel like in the last couple days, especially, where they try with all their might to hold up, just can't. A lot of it's been on the breaking stuff down in the dirt. Cook had a few of those swings against him yesterday.
And we've seen some pretty good timing as well from the bats, though, too. A lot of hard contact up the middle.
Slider outside, 2-1. Jeremy Idle alongside Jenna Rose to bring you the call here today. PJ Grudowski, your director. Maddie Lamaster, your producer, here today. We thank all the interns for their work that they have done throughout this year. Without them, this broadcast probably doesn't hit the air. Here's the 2-1. Ooh, you saw the home plate umpire think about it, but instead, the second consecutive 3-1 count. Couple more base runners in that second inning against Banks as well, but nothing really materializing. Looking to get a little more going, here in the third. Pop out. If De Los Santos can track it, he sure does, as it falls into his left hand.
And that makes that 2 pop outs for Johnson in today's contest. But that'll bring up another threat to the box, Drew Galassi. You kind of mentioned it previously in the broadcast, Jeremy, but this is one of the quicker lineups in the USPBL. You think of guys like Luxka has some speed, but especially Johnson, Galassi, Phillips, Curiel, Hodo.
Well, the Canadian Goose just flew over the stadium to the right side. Maybe that's the rally goose here for Galassi and the Unicorns. First pitch to Galassi up high. That was certainly an interesting moment.
Yeah, how long ago was that?
Tigers history. That was 2018, so I was interning at that time, actually, so I got a front row seat to it. And kind of seeing all the reactions inside the ballpark, showing replays of it on the video board that night. 1-0, swing and a miss by Galassi. They made shirts out of it, which I don't think are being sold anymore, and probably weren't after 3 or so months after that kind of fizzled its way out, but...
And we've seen some goofy stuff in baseball. A cat, mantis.
Yep, praying mantises, yep. We've had a few mantises here. There was a...
Manti?
Maybe, yeah. We'll have to look that up. But there was one right on the window in front of me last year at times. And they would hang out kind of in the back of the outfield fence. There's a stretch you can kind of walk all the way around the ballpark there in front of the Clinton River. But not, I don't think we've seen any this year.
Who was it that hit the bird and it exploded? Do you remember that?
Pitching Randy Johnson.
Oh.
Yeah. That was like I feel like the 20th anniversary of that or something, not too long ago. Was circulating around Twitter. 1-2 high. That poor bird just got obliterated. By probably a high 90s fastball.
You just think, what are the odds?
2-2 on Galassi. Luska standing down on first base with 2 outs as well. Fastball high and away. And there was times last year as well, because of the limited attendance that we were able to have really until the final games of the season, where you could hear the crickets literally outside the stadium because it was so quiet. Only about 100 people allowed total inside the stadium last year.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy how much more we appreciate going to sporting events now after COVID, because it just seems like such a normal thing. But when you can't go and you see, empty stadiums and arenas and parks, it's a little goofy.
Runner moving on the 3-2. Ooh, nice darting slider away from Galassi for the second K here today for Banks. Still tied at 1s here on the USPBL network.
When people keep repeating that you'll never fall in love, when everybody keeps retreating, but you can't seem to get enough, let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart, to your heart.
While credit cards help pay for everyday expenses, carrying a balance each month can be tough on your budget. Since interest rates compound daily, the amount you owe gets bigger and bigger each day the balance goes unpaid. A Green Path debt management program helps you regain control of your finances by lowering credit card interest rates, reducing your monthly payments, stopping late fees, improving overall financial health, paying off credit card debt in 5 years or less. Our caring certified counselors work with you to understand your financial picture and support you on the steps to get control of high-interest debt and achieve financial health. Call 844-572-5921 and get control of high-interest credit card debt today.
Zach Jones taking over here in the 4th inning. Or he will stay on, I beg your pardon, not taking over, but trying to couple off what was a little bit more traffic on the base paths than he's been used to in the first 2. 3rd inning, we saw Kreitzer, De Los Santos, and De La Cruz all reach in a row to begin things with singles. And a 6-4-3 double play by Ben McConnell. And the strikeout by Colton Horner. Middle of the infield has been money here today for the Unicorns.
You can see there that Jones is able to dial it back in, but that was cool talking with Dan Monet from the Hoppers. That was something that he said was a big adjustment heading over from the Pecos League, that you have threats 1 through 9 in each of the lineups here today, and that just kind of shows how well that the Hoppers offense has been able to produce the bottom half with Kreitzer, De Los Santos, and De La Cruz, especially during championship weekend.
That one is going to cue its way fair. My goodness, Luska just nips him over at first. Wow.
I've never seen that.
Just a ball that was starting foul, kind of hanging on the line. Luska
scribbled its way back in.
Able to pick it up just in time, and luckily Jones was covering. Otherwise, Abaret was safe. There's no way that Luska was going to be able to get back to the bag. Maybe he could tag him along the line, but that's always a tough thing to do.
Well, quickly 2 outs now here at the top of the 4th.
Change up away. Joe Burke today had a single in the 2nd. Quickly erased by the 4-6-3 double play. One of 2 double plays turned by this Unicorns defense. More of a cloudy day. It's kind of developed into almost hazy. Maybe it's just because of the mugginess that we have.
Yeah, we have the lights on here at the park.
Another easy ground ball potentially. Hodo converts another 1-2-3 inning for Zach Jones. All weak contact. Hasn't been a lot of hard hit balls against Zach here today. Castellano, Abaret, and Burke all go down with ground balls in the 4th. Back with more after this here on the USPBL Network.
Ascension Michigan Sports Medicine, we're here to treat any athlete, any injury that you might have, whether that's at the high school, the college level, or the professional level, or whether that's you just want to stay active and keep fit. And we do that through a whole journey. And you're going to see us for diagnosis with imaging. We can also do some physical therapy, which we have all of that. And we can do all the way up to the OR if you need surgery and getting you recovered as well. There's no reason to delay your care. You can get in to see us just as easily as you can see a primary care doctor. And when you do come to see us, we have all the precautions in place to keep you safe.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester, or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Welcome back, everyone, to the USPBL Network. Well, we were promoting it all year long, and there's your winner of 4 front row tickets to the championship game here today, and a nice $250 gift card. Not too bad, courtesy of Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It's Sherry Carr. So congratulations to Sherry. Credit to you for texting in at the right time. Noah Childress, Isaac Phillips, Donovan Curiel, your Zach Hart Agency 3-men due-up. That's off the end of the bat of Childress. Nice single for him in the second. Just hit it into the 6 hole.
Yeah, Childress is the beer batter of today's game. Already got the job done with that single you mentioned.
What's the deal there? $2 off if that happens?
I believe so, yeah.
Other places you have the strikeout player of the game, usually on the visiting team. Obviously there's no, I mean there is a visiting team here, but everybody plays at Jimmy John's Field. They do that down in Toledo for the Mud Hens.
Yeah, I feel like that would not feel good if you're doing that in the league.
And then a row gets free ice cream, so there's people screaming for that strikeout to happen usually throughout the game.
I would be too. I don't blame them.
Be nice to have some ice cream right about now, right? If the right person is watching.
Yeah, I mean, there's Dippin' Dots here in the park. Those are good. I highly recommend the nachos. If you don't get them this season, come back next. Those are like outstanding when you're thinking about ballpark foods. I have to get some every Tigers game I go to.
Always going to have that go-to snack, right? Or meal. 2-2. Wow. Nice diving fastball there. One of his best today at 91. That had change-up-like movement on it, but certainly fastball velocity.
Yeah, it seems as though he's still staying pretty efficient here heading into the top of the 4th against the Unicorns. 26 strikeouts for Childress during the regular season.
And Banks does have a sinker. You're just not used to seeing that much movement on it. He's drawn a decent amount of ground balls off it again here today. Phillips looks at strike 1. 4th inning brought to you by Dunham's. We thank Dunham's for their partnership with the USPBL this year. This one in for strike 2. Phillips today with a single back in the second. Part of that back-to-back streak. You got this Unicorns offense brewing. That's where the only run was scored in that inning.
Phillips able to take it the opposite way when he's in the box.
In there for strike 3. Isaac doesn't love the call. 3 straight strikeouts all of a sudden by Pierce Banks.
Yeah, he's already been able to retire one of the major threats in the Unicorns lineup, Drew Galassi. The strikeout looking in the first, and then another one in the third.
So Donovan Curiel, the last chance here in the 4th inning. He flew out to center field back in the second. There's the sun. We don't really see it, but you see the light coming from it at least. Strike one to Curiel, 80 degrees at game time here today in Utica, Michigan. The wind not as much as a factor here today, around 9 miles an hour, gusting to right center. We kind of wondered what that might play into last night's game because it was a pretty hard wind early in that one.
Yeah, and in games of late, we weren't really seeing that flag moving too much out in the outfield.
No doubles look against Curiel here. 1-1, spiked in. The curveball again. Oh, go ahead.
We're not in sync today. Banks really able to work ahead in these counts here for the fourth.
A two-seam, four-seam, curveball, slider, changeup. The arsenal for Banks, the 1-2. Snap the curveball. Curiel read it the whole way, though. Driving Horner back to the gap. Him and McConnell converging, and Colton with a nice catch here. 5 straight quietly retired by Pierce Banks in this one. The Hoppers hoping for their first lead in a little bit.
Elite athletes want to be closer to what fuels them. So we built them a gym behind the milk section.
What's going on here?
Oh, they're training.
What? In the milk section? What is happening?
What you guys are doing here?
I've always had milk in my fridge, but I've never really trained in a fridge surrounded by milk. I feel like I've been able to level up my training and do things that others haven't.
No, they're training back there. It's a full gym.
Hey guys, keep it up.
Being close and nearby milk, it's how I hydrate, it's how I recover. It's important to be at arm's reach.
When people keep repeating that you'll never fall in love, when everybody keeps retreating, but you can't seem to get enough. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart.
Welcome back, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field. Zach Jones taking over again here in the 5th inning for the Unicorns. Good roll by Jones. 6 in a row, including a double play. That was for the first and second out in that 3rd inning. Got him 1, 2, 3 in the 4th, but doing a great job of pitching to mostly contact here today. Just 1 strikeout added thus far.
Yeah, in the 4th, those all came by way of ground outs for Jones. Bit of a goofy one with Aberrat, but gets the job done.
2-0 on Greg Vaughn Jr. Outstanding walk to strikeout ratio this year for Jones, really since the get-go. Just 9 walks to 35 Ks. And it was almost a little surprising for him when you talk to Zach after his first couple outings. Here's the 3-0. Changeup inside, really wanted that call. Instead, a 4-pitch walk. But he had come off a fairly rough college season, Division I level at the Citadel. Had a 9 ERA here in 2021, and he couldn't really tell us, where the confidence came from when he switched over to professional level, but he's never wavered, really. I mean, the just barely over 1 ERA coming into play here today.
Well, he's going to need that confidence going up against Nick Kreitzer. Solid line drive to right in his last at-bat. Seems as though he's been trying to work him outside during today's contest.
De Los Santos would be next, and then Adam De La Cruz, your Zach Hart Agency 3-man duo. 1-0, another changeup outside. 2-0 on Kreitzer. Fifth inning brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. We thank Fifth Third Bank for their partnership with the USPBL again this year. Wind picking up just a smidge to the right center field gap here. That flag waving around. 2-0, fly ball left field. That's going to hang up there, maybe. It's carrying on Phillips a bit. And Kreitzer with another close one out to left center field.
Yeah, that was literally almost in the same exact spot that he had that 3-run blast last night. Phillips had to make his way back to the warning track to get that one. But it's been fun watching Kreitzer kind of find that power again. We only really saw a few extra base hits during the regular season. Those were only 3 doubles. You can just kind of tell in his stature and his swing that he's capable of those big hits. De Los Santos with a really nice line drive of his own up the middle during his last at-bat in the third. Looking to do something similar here with Greg Vaughn Jr. on first.
Fly ball to right center. Hanging up for Galassi. Decently high. And this probably isn't a best of sky to pick up a ball. I mean, it's darker clouds mixed kind of with some white clouds. Nobody's had trouble with it, so maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but if I had to guess, I mean, with the bright sunlight too, it's kind of the contrast, whether you need the glasses, whether you don't. Maybe not to start this game, but it's certainly gotten brighter as things have moved on.
No, I'm with you there. I mean, I'm used to a giant, neon ball coming my way.
Chopped through.
Well, we were just talking about it. The bottom half of this lineup is really able to produce for the Hoppers. Kreitzer and De Los Santos were kind of underneath it on both of those pitches from Jones. But anyways, I'm used to a softball, and when I've tried to take those, pop-ups from a baseball, it's kind of a little bit different because it can get a little lost up there. So I wouldn't say you're speaking out of term. But I'm sure they're, seasoned at this in the outfield, playing at the professional level.
First pitch to McConnell. Line drive to the gap in left center field. Phillips trying to cut it off, and he does. Wow, that's a huge play in the 5th inning to keep this game tied. It helps to have that closing speed, and Phillips maybe robs McConnell of an extra base hit. What's going to crack? Still tied 1-1 after the top of the 5th.
Is it bad?
Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're going to be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
It's your Priority Health USPBL dance crew here today. We thank them for their work all season long, entertaining the fans, helping with the atmosphere as well. Everybody playing a part in what makes this baseball season so many staff members behind the scenes, certainly in the in-game entertainment side as well. Jeremiah Hergott helping us out on the broadcast throughout the year. A little bit more busy during games this year than last, just because of the more partners and fans in the ballpark. But we thank Jeremiah for his work. Katie Page as well behind the scenes. As Tucker Rayburn lead things off in the 5th inning here for the Unicorns. Slider outside, 1-0, 5 straight batters retired by Pierce Banks. Another easy out here from Banks. We've had some stringing hits in a row by these two offenses, really in one inning each, but not a whole lot to show for it. Just one run on either side. John Hodo, hard hit line drive to Joe Burke, made a nice play. Wasn't right at him, so not completely reactionary. Kind of had to move over to his left. Here's a high chop that De Los Santos fires low, and Burke can't pick it. The margin on that one pretty thin, because you know the speed of Hodo, and that ball already taking a decent amount of time to come down in the glove of De Los Santos. Brings up Kevin Lambert now. Slider away from Kevin here, 1-0. Banks has used that breaking ball heavily here today. A little bit deeper arsenal than Jones has. He's pretty much just fastball, slider, and some change-ups mixed in here and there. But Banks has loved to kind of dip in that knuckle curve and or slider on the first pitch here today. More often than not, he's gotten a strike. A lot of them looking to this point. Hodo ranging off the bag. Decent secondary lead for him as that fastball pounded in for strike 2. Well, we thank you for tuning in all season long as well on Facebook and YouTube here today. Been another fun season for everybody involved. Maybe share your favorite memory of this season, favorite moments on the chat section as well. That one flared into right center field. That's going to do just enough. Hodo to third. And just like that, runners on first and third with only one out here in the 5th. The best rally we've seen thus far after Banks was on a roll. 6 straight retired before that error allowing Hodo to reach. So that play on the board actually ruled a hit. Wasn't an easy play for De Los Santos. You had to be kind of perfect, as we mentioned. I mean, number one, you got to watch it into the glove. Number two, had to get it over quickly to first base. So an infield knock for Hodo. Back to the top of the order here for Frankie Luska. He has a walk and a ground out, the only walk surrendered in this game to this point. I take that back. Zach Jones had one to begin the 5th, but other than that, those are the two only free passes we have seen thus far. Fastball high, 87, above the letters there for Luska. Frankie, the local product out of Madonna University in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, facing another local product in Banks. And Luska getting ready to discard the bat there. Gary Wagenschut says, not so fast, strike one. Luska looking for his second walk in a row here in innings 3 and 5. Line to left, they were playing him over, and that's going to get down for a fair ball. Hodo easily scores, scooting his way to third is Lamberts, and Frankie Luska drives in RBI number 11 on the year.
Wow, nice work in the box by Frankie Luska with that big hit. We talked about it, he's very consistent, displays power. And there, that's his third time facing Banks, and obviously he was able to get a hold of something that he liked.
A little surprising to see maybe Vaughn Jr. playing that far off the line because Frankie does like to go the opposite way quite a bit. He works on that tirelessly with that man actually right there, John Dombrowski. Paul Nochi with his first mound visit. There is a little bit of action in his pen. Is that Verbrugge up and stretching at least? Tough to tell now with those umbrellas down the right field line.
Yeah, it is smart, though, that you bring your binoculars into the booth.
It is Andrew. There he is, just peeking over the top and trying to dip back down on the stretch.
Yeah, another player we talked about has a very good curveball, comfortable throwing it at any point in the count.
Threw 32 pitches last night. He might be good for that number again, given that he started nearly half his appearances in the USPBL, kind of shifted to the bullpen lately. First pitch to Colby Johnson, slider away. Johnson 0 for 2 today, a pair of pop-outs. High pop-up. Burke stares it into the stands.
Yeah, during the regular season, we did see some of that extra base pop from the bat of Johnson. 3 doubles, 2 home runs. He's definitely a player that I had pegged for today's game to do something big. So far, like you said, 2 pop-outs.
The 1-1. Fastball in there for strike 2. Now 1 to the second baseman, Castellano. The other to De Los Santos at third on the pop flies. The left fielder, Vaughn Jr., plays him slightly in and left. Everybody else back at normal depth here. Will that one stay in play? Burke giving it a shot. Runs out of room as he stares into his own dugout now, hanging over the rail.
Is there a chance of rain today, Jeremy?
You know, there's a scattered chance of some severe weather, I think, in this general area, but I didn't think it was going to pop up until later. But who knows? I mean, it's that humid where it could pop up out of nowhere. We've seen that several times in games. It's starting to cool off, isn't it? You kind of feel it coming into the booth. Two and two on Johnson. You have the window open here today.
I know, it's so nice to have that open because you feel like you're really a part of it, because I can still hear it from the open middle window, but the wind now and a bit of the heat. Fans chattering.
2-2, popped him up again. This one reaching back towards us. Some fans reaching out their arms below us in case it pinballs back down. Decent battle here by Johnson.
Yeah, he's able to get his barrel on the ball. fouling off what he doesn't like to see.
Chokes up with 2 strikes. The 2-2 line drive into the glove of De La Cruz. Skying up.
I didn't think De La Cruz was going to get there in time. It looked like he hopped a little bit too early, but on the way falling down, his mitt just got it. That was a nice poke by Johnson, working that at bat.
I'm with you. I thought for sure off the bat as well, not even watching De La Cruz, that one would at least get over his head and maybe to the gap. We've seen some hard hit balls gloved by infielders so far here today. Galassi flies that one to left. Vaughn Jr., De Los Santos, kind of in no man's land out there. It's Vaughn Jr. who picks it up for the 3rd out here in the 5th inning. A run does score, giving the Unicorns a lead again, 2-1.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Times are tough right now. It feels like the bottom of the 9th, and we're down by 2. But we've seen tough times before. And just like baseball has always been more than just a game, Chief Financial Credit Union is more than money. So it might be the bottom of the 9th, but we're the home team, and we've got runners on base. Batter up, America. It's time to play ball.
Jeremy and Jenna back with you here from the ballpark. So glad you could tune in to this USPBL Championship game on the USPBL Network. Zach Jones out there for inning number 6. Scattered base runners today, giving up his only run in the 3rd inning after a leadoff single. And even at the end of that inning, we saw 3 straight singles for the bases loaded. And in the end, it was a double play that was able to score the run, but he got the double play and the strikeout, and it felt pretty easy after that.
Yeah, both teams have only notched 5 hits throughout the first 5 innings here today at Jimmy John's.
Here's the 0-1 to Horner. Tapped, fouled on the 3rd baseline.
Yeah, Horner struck out in the 3rd, but that was a very good cut that he had there if he got a hold of it. Definitely would have came off his bat with some power. And someone who generally takes some pretty good swings.
It's cooled off a bit as these playoffs have unfolded, but been a key addition to this Hoppers team. A little excuse me swing there just to get a barrel on it as it flipped foul.
Had a .431 slugging percentage throughout the regular season. 2 doubles and 2 homers to his name during that stretch.
Fastball away, 1-2 on Colton Horner now. One-two, leaping at that one, and wow, it's going to stay up there. Luska staring into the billowy clouds for out number 1.
Yeah, definitely not the kind of at-bats that Colton was hoping for during Championship Sunday. But Pedro Castellano looking to switch things up as well, 0 for 2 on today's contest.
This game has a similar feel as yesterday, although the closeness has continued a bit farther than what we saw yesterday when the Hoppers broke for 3 runs in the 4th inning. 7-batter inning as well against the Beavers. 1-0, fly ball, poked right to Johnson. But it has that feel of one swing, you know, maybe with a runner on base, could either separate it if you're the Unicorns or put you right back in it if you're the Hoppers.
Yeah, we've talked about the potency that this Hoppers lineup has, but it's been a bit sporadic today. Felt almost like a bit of a slow game last night at points, as you were mentioning before.
Last year in this game, it was a shootout between the Beavers and the Unicorns. A bit surprising because that was the 3rd straight game for the Beavers. And here's Leska. It's like he's back in the outfield playing first base here today. He's played a lot of right field and left field for the Unicorns this year. Collects 2 pop-outs here in the 6th inning. And we're still 2-1 here at the ballpark.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
New flooring from the Carpet Guys is as easy as 1, 2, free. 1, just call the Carpet Guys for fast, free, and home shopping. 2, get massive warehouse direct savings. And 3, I mean free, as in 4 years of interest-free financing. That's 1, 2, free, but only for a limited time. So be wise and call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS or visit carpetguys.com today.
Be wise, call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
Again, your Priority Health USPBL dance crew here today. Doing Shake It Off, the middle innings tradition here at Jimmy John's Field. We've kind of talked about it in different segments throughout the season, but a decent amount in terms of what the league has had to go through to get to this point. Nobody was really clear what the attendance restrictions, if there would be any at the beginning of the year, and unfortunately for opening weekend they were a bit more limited, but by the 2nd week things fully opening here in Michigan, so making it a bit more conducive to certainly running an operation like this. But kind of a long year, a long way, and really just over a year when you think about it, because last year's season started much later than normal in July and crammed in the full amount of games with those scheduled Saturday doubleheaders that we have seen.
Gosh, I still just can't believe that it's September. We're in the postseason now. Championship Sunday.
It's just September in general. It's like, wow.
Where did time go? Well, we have righty Andrew Verbrugge out on the mound now. Successor to Banks, had an ERA of 3.53 during the regular season, for the most innings pitched throughout that span. For the Hoppers Arms, 43 2/3, and struck out 26 during that stretch.
32 pitches last night through 2 innings of work. Belabored a bit because of the 2 walks, but he also did have 3 strikeouts. And any appearance out of the bullpen, certainly in this situation right here where your team is down 1 in a tight game, just waiting for your offense to break out again. Want to keep the score right where it is with some good hitters coming up. Childress, line drive to left, but hanging up enough for Vaughn Jr. That's going to kind of been the story, it seems like, for these pop-ups and line-outs and fly-outs so far in this game, wherever they're hit.
Yeah, Childress put a nice swing on that one, and he's someone who's described himself not as a home run swing kind of guy, but really line drives have been the name of the game for him. Very consistent towards the tail end of the regular season.
Wow, a more slurvy looking curveball there from Verbrugge. Usually has more loopy movement on it. That one curved to the outside though. 0-1, came right back with the fastball, zinging in at 92 here today. Good play by De La Cruz. Cycles around for the second out.
Yeah, talk about that spin move by De La Cruz out at shortstop. Talked about it being a good tandem up the middle here for the Hoppers. And De La Cruz and Castellano. I always want to say Castellanos.
Right?
Just because of Nick, but I'm like, nope. It's not who that is.
Can't add the S.
No.
Boy, has he flourished since leaving Detroit.
Yeah.
Goodness. You can see the potential there and how highly regarded he was all through the prospect system. They really tried to change his position a couple times. Maybe that messed with him a bit too much, just trying to move everywhere around the diamond. First base, third base, right field, but Cincinnati finding a home there. Wow, check out these curveballs. Some of the best of the year, and we've seen the fastball, some of the best velocity as well from Verbrugge.
Yeah, most definitely. He's starting to really fill into his role here for the Hoppers.
0-2. Dancing curveball, 3 pitches in a row, and Curiel is like, what just hit me? 1-2-3 breeze of an inning, and Andrew cracks a smile. What an inning for Andrew Verbrugge. Some of the best stuff we have seen from him all year long. The curveball, it's been good all year, but that was some new level break to it, and some really 2 different breaks in that 6th inning. More of the slurvy type of action, breaking late to the outside, and then the lollipop curveball. He threw 3 straight curveballs to a good hitter and smart hitter usually in Donovan Curiel, and he was just flustered, you can tell.
Yeah, and some good life to his fastball as well. Throughout the regular season, that would max out around 91, 92 miles per hour. But average was 88. What I love about Jones' deliveries, you see sometimes he'll hang that leg just a little bit more. And as a pitcher, your job is to disrupt the timing of the batter.
Burke rifles that one way foul.
I feel like just little instances like that that can really throw off someone. I know it would for me, for sure.
So that's what we'll have to do on the wiffle ball field, just vary up the motions, huh? Here's the 0-2. High and away the fastball there.
Well, Jeremy, with the velocity that you throw, I'll have some time to adjust.
Ouch. Here's the 1-2. Fly ball left field on a line. Phillips going back, looks up, it's gone! A moonshot from Joe Burke. And just like that, the Hoppers are back on the map.
Berg getting the job done. That is his 7th home run of the year for the Hoppers. Giving Nochi the high five there as he rounds third base. About to be greeted by his teammates. Really displaying why he had that 745 slugging percentage. Phillips just kind of gave up on it and left, knew that it was going over.
Looked like a hanging slider. And Burke uncorked a little bit of a bat flip there. This one popped foul by Greg Vaughn Jr. But when you can hit it out on a line to left center field, one of the deeper parts of the park here, just to the left of the scoreboard. Yeah, there's the Hawks hovering over.
Oh, wow, those are hawks?
Or,
I thought those were geese.
I don't think it's a hawk, but some bird of prey. Is that safe to say?
Bird of prey, yeah.
Is that a vulture, actually?
Oh, don't say that.
I don't know. It looks too small. His head looks kind of vulture-esque, doesn't it?
I know. It kind of looks a little scary now.
Don't look anymore. No.
Are those in Michigan?
Vultures?
Is that a silly question?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. 1-2. Much better slider there. He located it where he wanted to, and a good bounce back for Jones.
Maybe I've just watched too many cartoons growing up, and I always picture them in the desert.
They're all up there now, having a party.
Or are they fighting?
They're fighting for positioning there.
Well, we've got a fight here on the field between the Hoppers and the Unicorns.
Rally birds again, I guess. Those were circling around right when Joe Burke hit that one out.
One-0 on Kreitzer.
Fly ball left field. That one charging back. Monster backflip by Kreitzer. He's hit 2 in the last 2 days for his first 2 professional bombs.
Jeremy, I can't even talk. That is so awesome. We just know what Kreitzer's been doing behind the scenes to put in the work to get back to that level of consistency, but we've always seen that power. And now he's getting a hold of it where it matters most in the postseason.
I'm not sure I've seen a bigger bat flip.
Now batting to third baseman, number 23, Chris.
He hit one in a similar area to left center field last night and today. His last one hung up there. But that one hanging out over the wall. De Los Santos with a single back in the third, popped out in the fifth. And what a way to give the Hoppers a lead.
I can't stop smiling. I just love, wow, Championship Sunday. A lot to go on here.
And we've talked about it so much that it's almost become cliche, but we were waiting for the power to show up in terms of home run power in games by Kreitzer. We kept saying sooner or later he's going to pop one out, and he's done it in opportune timing here. Good slider there. Second time he has come back and struck out a hitter after the solo shot here in the seventh.
Well, you can definitely tell that Jones is able to recover well. You've talked about that newfound confidence making his way into the professional ball scene here at the USPBL. As a pitcher, you just kind of have to shake those moments off and get back to it, especially in the post.
Strike one to De La Cruz. 2 singles for Adam here today. We talked about it yesterday, getting this bat going as the season has gone on. 0-1. Looks like the changeup may be outside. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between the changeup and the slider sometimes because a slider has pretty sharp break, just a little bit of churn to it towards the end. And they're very similar, if not the same, most of the time in terms of velocity. 1-2 quickly on De La Cruz. Galassi and Hodo with those sharp shades for out number 3 here. It's all about the home run in this playoff series. Joe Burke with the solo shot to left. Nick Kreitzer with his second of his professional career. And the Hoppers all of a sudden have a 3-2 lead. Time for your 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Genesis Credit Union. Here today in our final Take Me Out to the Ball Game. You can save your ears for the rest of the year.
Oh, darn. Last
Take
one.
Me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
See ya, 7th inning stretch. Never again in 2021.
Brought to you by Genesis Credit Union. Andrew Verbrugge back out there. His stuff was lights out in the last half. He'll look to possibly get the win here tonight if he keeps going.
There's nothing better than a ball game at Jimmy John's Field and a cold beer from Midland Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Kyle, the head brewer at Midland Brewing Company. Here to wish you a stellar time making memories at Jimmy John's Field. And we hope that you're living it up with a Copper Harbor Ale in your cup. You can find more of our selections here at the ballpark and around town at your favorite bottle shops too. We hope you have a ball at the game, and remember, enjoy responsibly. Let's play ball.
When people keep repeating that you'll never fall in love, and everybody keeps retreating, but you can't seem to get enough. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart. To your heart.
Tucker Rayburn leading off the inning for the Unicorns. So on top of what Andrew Verbrugge did in the 6th inning, combined with the 2 home runs we saw, this has got to feel a bit flustering if you're the Unicorns all of a sudden.
Well, seeing some of the bats that we have in the Unicorns lineup, anyone could really be a candidate to get the ball rolling. Maybe answer back with a couple of home runs of their own. That would make for a really exciting Championship Sunday game.
1-2, pounded foul. Rayburn, Hodo, Lambert, your Zach Hart agency, 3 men to up. Curveball again outside. He's been heavy curveball along with the fastball in the 6th inning. And the 7th now. We've seen 92 already from the fastball. There's 90. Dusted him low. And certainly, it seems in his relief appearances, he's been able to let that fastball play up a bit quicker because he's been more of a 1-2 inning guy. Stretched out sometimes when they need it. 3-2, 89 high. Got him whiffing.
Yeah, I mean, he's bringing some of his best stuff to the table now here in the post for Verbrugge, and that transition from that starting role to the pen has really served him well, like you said. More life on the fastball. Today really commanding his pitch as well.
John Hodo, the second man to score in this game, and at that point it felt like a very large run. Infield single converted on an RBI single by Frankie Luska. Didn't try to do too much, just kind of floated it into left. And whacks another one over the glove of De La Cruz.
Yeah, he was getting ready to jump up in the air, but noticed, man, there's no way if I stuck my glove out, I'd be able to get that one. But Lambert gets the ball rolling. Just kidding. Hodo gets the ball rolling here for the Unicorns. Almost there, Jeremy. Home stretch. Home stretch. Yeah, when Cook was in the booth, he would just nicely be like, no, it's this. So always good having that support, right?
Absolutely. First pitch to Lambert. Tough one over the glove of Burke and a trickle into right. Hodo checks behind him. Scurries to third.
That's a base running by Hodo. He saw that opportunity and seized it, making his way down to third. It was a bit of a tricky play there for Burke. But these Unicorns, when they're able to get on base, that's when the real fun can happen.
Luska walk in the third, single and RBI like we told you in the fifth, also grounded out in the first. Big spot for the top of the order here today, who for them, the top three, Luska is the only man to reach. Johnson and Galassia combined 0 for 6. Castellano bobbles, the run will score. And just catching Luska over at first, but once again, it's 3-3.
Yeah, you can kind of tell by the sound of the ball coming off the bat. He didn't get a good piece of it, but able to do the job. Run scores. Now knotted up at 3 apiece.
Colby Johnson trying to break his 0 for 3 today. Hit it hard, but right at Adam De La Cruz, who had to sky up and get it. You can envision Johnson being a guy to get a big hit in this game. Let's see if it's here. 1-0, curveball away. 2-0 on Colby now. Hitting second once again.
Johnson very speedy, displays that when he's in the outfield as well. Can do some damage when he's on the base paths.
Slurve looking pitch away, 3-0. The wind is fairly calm. It's blowing kind of parallel to the outfield fence right there. There's Bobby Comitas, a member of the championship team last year as well. Stabbed by De Los Santos, long throw, yes! Chris De Los Santos with a heady play on a 3-0 pitch as well to end the 7th inning. We've got quite the ball game here today, ladies and gentlemen. 3-3 heading to the 8th.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. But I'll guess it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Well, we've seen 2 home runs slugged in this game. I don't know. I have an inkling that might not be the only 2 we see if this game remains the way it has.
I'm with your inkling. I don't like how that sounded.
Inkling is a weird word, isn't it?
Yeah, let's just... Ben McConnell leading things off.
McConnell, Horner, Castellano, your Zach Hart agency. 3 men due up here in the 8th. First pitch to McConnell. Again, looking to maybe scoot it to that left center field gap, but right there to take it is Lambert.
It is a little underneath it there, and that'll send up Horner. And he could be a candidate for that home run, Jeremy. We're talking about it. 0 for 3 so far during today's game, and he's really been taking some strong cuts.
First pitch fastball inside. How about Zach Jones? Still out in this game in the 8th inning. Longest performance we've seen in the playoffs thus far, and this isn't necessarily necessary in the regular season. Number one, you want to get guys work. 1-1. Pop fly. Hodo is back. So unless somebody has a really good game going and a perfect game, no hitter, or they're just cruising through with a low pitch count, you don't really see guys go into the 8th. And with the 2.5 time rule, sometimes it limits games as well. So this is a gutty performance by Zach Jones here today.
Yeah, was behind in the counts in the first inning, but was able to work his way back for some contact outs. And really, as you've been saying, we've seen some good flashes of work, some 3 ups, 3 downs, 4th and the 6th inning.
And I think it's impressive. Obviously, he didn't want to give up the second home run, but even after the first home run, came back with a much better slider. He gave up a home run on the slider to Joe Burke on the 1-2 pitch. Here's the 0-1 here, fouled off. Then the home run by Kreitzer, the very next batter, on a 1-0. The opposite way again, his second consecutive. First 2 home runs of Kreitzer's professional career here in the playoffs, but then got De Los Santos swinging and a pretty good slider as well. Not easy to do in games like this with emotions running high.
Well, that's always tough as a batter, too, because you don't want to be overly aggressive, but you also want to have those big hits. That's something that Glossy had to make an adjustment earlier in the season. He felt like he was trying to put that home run swing on everything, but when he was relaxing and focusing on the batter's eye, that's where the big hits came in.
Popped him up. Stares at foul.
Two and 2 on Castellano.
Tipped into the glove. Some emotion there by Jones. He gets yet another strikeout. And his third 1-2-3 frame retired here today. Strap yourself in. Legendary one here in the USPBL Championship.
Milk, 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 yeah. Guzzle milk, drink it all. Make a milk waterfall. Cookie milk, stack it tall. Milk with no rhythm at all. Make you run fast milk. Stay awake in class milk. Pour it by the glass milk. Is that a mustache milk? Boom, 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 base milk. Smile on your face milk. Go for the goal before you know you going all the way milk. Milky high, milky hay. I hope you have a milky day. Live your best life milk. You out this world, Milky Way. Put you on the spot milk. Question, got milk? Show us what you got. Hashtag got milk.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Welcome back to the USPBL Network. Jenna Rose alongside Jeremy Otto to bring you today's call. Championship Sunday. Second pitching change here today for the Hoppers. We're seeing left-hander Wilbur Konak come on in. Really the kind of guy where we see the utilization of his curveball most of the time, paired with that four-seam fastball. Also uses his two-seam and changeup, so pretty evenly spread out, working those four pitches in. One of the newer additions to the Diamond Hoppers' arms. Had an ERA of 2.33 and a 1-0 record during the regular season. 12 innings of work. Through that span, struck out 14.
So that might be it for Jones as well through eight complete innings in this game. Bobby Komitas has been warming up for a little bit.
Leading off for the Utica Unicorns, the center fielder number 24,
Drew Galassi, certainly a guy that can change the game with one swing of the bat. Charges his way to the plate.
You know, I can't remember if I asked Drew this himself or if it was somebody up here in the booth. But for the longest time, I thought Unicorns fans or, just fans in general were saying boo whenever he came up to the plate, but they're just saying Drew in like a really deep tone. Yeah, and I was like, that's so mean. Who wouldn't like Drew?
First pitch fastball high.
It's always fun, the kind of traditions that spring forward in a ballpark or at an arena.
Often those things gravitate pretty fast, too.
Yeah, the John Cena woos at LCA now. Hearing, yeah, Boyd.
Yep. Here's the 1-0. Fluttering ball into center. McConnell cruising in. Can't make the catch. Galassi on his way to second. Vaughn Jr. there, and he's going to swim his way into the second base bag.
Yeah, there's a flash of the Galassi we saw in the early seasons. Didn't get a lot of power on that one, but was able to navigate his way to second base from that hit. And man, McConnell, really explosive when he first read that ball off the bat, but that would have been a really tough play to make.
Barrett is out for a visit here. That's it. Childress today, a single back in the second, a strikeout in the fourth, and a line out in the sixth inning. He was stuck on 4 home runs for a while as well. He had a big one about a month or so ago in USPBL action to push his total to 5, but more importantly, has gotten that batting average up quite a bit after his hot start and then the lull.
Yeah, but this is a critical 3-4 punch here for the Unicorns. Galassi and Childress.
Would Nochi pull him here? I'm not sure. He's taking a very slow walk to the mound, bringing out the tall lefty, possibly just to face Galassi and maybe one more hitter, but he might be thinking about bringing in his closer, Pierce, with that go-ahead run at second.
Well, it looks like in the bullpen he's throwing some pretty hard.
Yeah, Pierce has, that would be 2 straight days for him on the mound, 17 pitches of work yesterday. And wow, that's exactly what he's going to do, I think.
Yeah, Barrett points. Umpire waving his hat.
So there is no rule here in the USPBL in terms of a batter minimum, and Paul Nochi will take advantage of that, playing the matchups here tonight. Will faces just one batter, the lefty, Drew Galassi. He gets on to second base, and Pierce just enough to warm up. We'll take a look at Hayden when we get back here on the USPBL Network. Stick with us.
I'm all insurance. They're saving me so much. They covered my car and bundled with my home. I feel so secure to say I love insurance.
Hello, AAA Insurance.
Goodbye, insurance. Hello.
Insurance.
Get a quote and save up to 20%.
When people keep repeating that you'll never fall in love, when everybody keeps retreating, but you can't seem to get enough, let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart, to your heart.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
Drew Galassi has made this thing interesting in the 8th. In a tie game, the Unicorns scoring the tying run in the 7th inning, leadoff double. And Paul Noce going to play the matchups here today, bringing in his closer, Pierce, for the second straight day with no outs in the 8th.
Looking at Hayden Pierce's arsenal, really utilizes that four-seam fastball and curveball. Will also use his two-seam heavy amount, along with his slider, and really only a few flashes of the changeup. But that's definitely a tall task going up against the designated hitter in Noah Childress. Talked about it before, very crucial 3-4 punch for the Unicorns. Galassi getting the job done on second. Really hustled his way out of the box.
Brandon Krenrich now warming up for the Unicorns in case they take a lead here. Noah Childress striding his way to the plate. Some silent anticipation from the crowd as there's been a lot of swings of emotions in this game. The 2 home runs in the same inning by the Hoppers in a matter of 3 batters, 2 solo shots, Burke and Kreitzer. The biggest moments thus far. Childress trying to make another one here in the 8th. That's blocked off the, not off his mask. I guess he just discarded the mask there, did Abaret.
Yeah, he's had some pretty good blocks last night as well for both Blom and Abaret.
Jeremy Otto alongside Jenna Rose to bring you the call here today. USPBL Championship right here on the USPBL Network. So glad you could tune in. Tight game here today. Maybe the most tightly contested we've seen so far here in the playoffs. Now the 1-0. Fastball high. Childress holding it there. Or Abaret holding it there, I should say.
I mean, he didn't swing, so that kind of works.
Ahead in the count 2-0. Big opportunity here with the runner on second base. Neither pitcher is yet to throw a strike besides the hit here in this inning. 2-0, swing and a miss out in front of that one. Kind of lunging the body forward as well.
Childress ended the regular season with a .341 on-base percentage. A little bit of a lull like you talked about, but very consistent as of late.
That one dives low and in. 3-1 on Childress now. Ready and ready matchup. Noah in the driver's seat here. The 3-1. Lifted foul. Not exactly sure how long Pierce was warming up, but wasn't really that much time, so you got to wonder whether that has any effect here, being put in the game maybe a little quicker than he expected.
You know, anything can happen at this time of year.
Cranbridge continues to warm for the Hoppers, or for the Unicorns, I beg your pardon. No one else for the Hoppers here today right now, at least. They've used a lot of their available arms to this point. There's Brandon just watching play at this point. The 3-2. Slider that hung, but Childress just on top of it there.
That was really inside on him, but looking to stay alive or make something happen.
Drew Galassi has let out this inning with a double. The pace has slowed down emphatically all of a sudden here in the 8th. 3-2 again, outside. Isaac Phillips coming to the plate.
Everybody clapping over there in the Unicorns dugout.
Well, Hewitt and Pitchman available on the bench. 2 at-bats for Hewitt. That's it in the USPBL, but one of them being a home run. Pitchman has some power. He has 3 doubles and a home run this year. Squaring around to bunt. This one fouled off.
Phillips 1 for 3 on today's contest with a single back in the 2nd inning.
Curiel, your Zach Hart agency man on deck here. He is 0 for 3 thus far. Third baseman De Los Santos and the first baseman Burke in on the corners here. Middle of the infield looking for that double play for the second out. Ooh, trying to square around again, but couldn't get it down.
Yeah, we haven't seen the best bunts all around in the USPBL. Guys have had some trouble getting it down or keeping it fair.
It's not something that's necessarily worked on very hard, just because the belief is not going to necessarily move on to the next level bunting your way on base or sacrificing. But this is the playoffs, so just looking to advance a runner here in this situation.
Phillips with 36 at-bats in the regular season. Had 8 strikeouts during that stretch.
Third baseman De Los Santos still in. He's swinging, uncomfortable looking on the slider for strike 3.
Now batting the shortstop, number 14, Donovan.
That is the 7th strikeout tonight combined for Hoppers pitching. Banks for Brugge, for Kunak and Pierce all throwing so far here today. Last night for Nochi, it was Cook for Brugge and Pierce. Cook probably the only unavailable arm on this team. Curveball loop foul. Curiel strikeout in the 6th, fly out in the 4th, and a fly out in the 2nd inning. That was a nice play by Ben McConnell out in center.
Curiel 0 for 3 at the plate here today. But has that sneaky power. And very speedy too, so putting the ball in play will help.
0-1, fastball that tailed away from him there. 1-1 on Donovan now. Outfield plays him shallow, trying to cut down the fast Galassi if he comes home on a single. Go ahead run, possibly standing at second here in the 8th. And remember, the Unicorns are the home team, so if they score one here, they'll likely bring Krenrich on to try to close it out. On the ground, hit hard to De Los Santos, tags the bag over to first. Twin killing in huge fashion here in the 8th for the 3rd out. Pierce gets the strikeout and a big-time double play. De Los Santos has made some nice plays going down the stretch. Look at Kreitzer leading the charge out there. He's pumped up, looking to get his team a victory here tonight.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Your neighbors are going to be jealous when they see you're getting a new Connecticut water system. Say goodbye to hard water problems. No more spots on your glassware. Your laundry will feel and smell better. Your hair and skin will look and feel better. Say goodbye to hard water problems and say hello to great tasting crystal clear water with CGC Water.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal getter or dream chaser, an empty nester, or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Brandon Krenrich on to try to keep this game right where it is and then maybe have his team walk it off in the home half of the 9th. A closer for this Unicorns team.
Yeah, in the early stages of the regular season, we'd see Krenrich come out of the pen for the Unicorns going up against the Diamond Hoppers, and he'd record at least a strikeout every time that he'd come out, but ended the regular season with an ERA under 3, 29 1/3 innings of work to his name, allowed 12 earned runs, walked 15, but wow, struck out 40 during that stretch, Jeremy.
Good stuff. They really like what he has put together as the season has gone on, the pitching staff that is. I think he's made some good adjustments. It's mostly been a back-end arm.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of his slider during his time here in the USPBL, and he'll pair that with his 4-seam fastball. Then he'll work low in the zone with his 2-seamer and throw in a changeup every now and again.
First pitch to Abaret. Outside. Felix today 0 for 3. Fly ball left center field. That's going to stay in the yard, though. Phillips has had a tough go about with those. He's had to look up and watch it fly a couple times in that exact area, and Abaret just missed it.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, Jeremy, Joe Burke on his way to the batter's box now. Left Phillips at the wall not too long ago with his solo shot. That was on a hanging slider back in the 7th, his last at-bat.
fastball outside. Joe Burke has shown his power throughout this season. That one looked like it bit Rayburn. On the top of the toe. So he's trying to shake things off here.
Dang, Jeremy, I don't think I stretched enough in the 7th.
No?
No.
Well, you wanted it to go away. See what you did there?
Consequences of my actions.
Now the 1-0. Zings the 92-mile-an-hour fastball in for strike one. No action in either bullpen here. The Unicorns, of course, hoping for this game to end in the bottom half of this inning. They are the more well-rested bunch, though, so you have a bunch of arms still that are available. We saw Comitas warming up earlier, Sereno, Williams, Ferguson, Selway. I mean, there's a host of guys they could go to if need be. The slider with a bit too much break that time outside.
Burke 2 for 3 today with a single and that solo shot.
In on the hands and shifted foul. We've seen some good battles here today so far.
Yeah, we definitely have. And, you know, we talked about this is the kind of game where you're going to see a lot of big hits. And Burke is someone who can repeat what he did.
Fastball again. Ninth inning brought to you by UWM. We thank UWM for their presenting partnership with the USPBL. Big time battle here, heat on heat. The 3-2. Outside, the slider walked him.
Well, Burke made a pretty good adjustment coming from college ball here into the USPBL. Obviously, as we can see, as the power that he displayed in the regular season, 4 doubles and 6 home runs, notching another home run here in the post not too long ago.
Fly ball to center field. Galassi chasing that one to the gap, to the scoreboard. Out of here! Greg Vaughn Jr. Exuberation! And the Hoppers have a lead.
Wow, what a shot off the bat of Greg Vaughn Jr. That is his 5th home run of the year. And we've seen that power displayed in the home run derby. I mean, he had 27 throughout the 3 rounds to secure it, and had the opportunity to chat with his stepfather during that game, and he said it really just came down to who was the best in shape, and Greg Vaughn Jr. really showed his strength there and came up big to give the Hoppers a 2-run lead.
How about the home run party by these Hoppers the last couple days? Been some kind of magical as they look for a USPBL title. First pitch outside to Kreitzer. He's a big part of this story as well. Changeup floats in for strike one.
Now is the time to get those big hits in, and the Hoppers have been able to do that in the latter stages of the game.
1-1 is low. So the Unicorns, the champions the last 2 years here in the USPBL. The Beavers the year before that, and the year before that as well. And in the first year, where there was only 3 teams, all the way back in 2016, the Unicorns also took that one. So the Hoppers looking for their first in franchise history. 2-2, dives low and in, full on Nick Kreitzer.
Only 1 out on the Hoppers. After Kreitzer, it'll be De Los Santos, also a key contributor.
Low and in. Just looking to add to the lead now.
Yeah, Kreitzer didn't even wait on that one, just made his way down first base. That'll send De Los Santos to the plate. We didn't really see that extra base pop earlier in the year. 2 doubles during that stretch, but seen as of late, he can really start to string them together and show the pop.
Juan Lopez Rios will now pinch run. He can run and he can field, but he really can't hit because of that hand. Something that kept him out of the lineup for about a month and a half, and then all of a sudden, he was back fairly quickly after being hit in the hand in an unpublic game, but he admitted, came back a bit too soon, tried to push it, and it made it a little bit worse. And it really hurts when he swings. So in the DH spot here, so likely will just sit there. I mean, maybe unlikely that he comes around again in this spot. We have to be in extras at that point, but Crushena is also available off the bench, so I'm guessing that you would see him hit in that scenario. But some speed, nonetheless, to try to add a third run.
Rios said that his major goal now in the offseason is to just get bigger and stronger.
Strikeout, or a slider in for strike one. 1-1 on De Los Santos. He did strike out back in the 7th. Popped out in the 5th and singled in the 3rd as well. Some sink on that 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Jones going 8 innings here tonight. Still nobody warming up for the Unicorns here. The 1-2 just behind that one. Fly out to begin this inning by Abaret. Went fairly deep, just the edges of the warning track. Walked by Burke on a good battle. Then the 2-run home run by Greg Vaughn Jr. 1-2 floating to center. Galassi laying out. Able to snag that baseball.
What a nice diving catch by Galassi out in center field, showing why he's a leader out there in the grass. It's always tricky. You know you're taking a risk, but how many reps he's taken in that position and his speed makes it almost look effortless. Record the second out.
So Hayden Pierce will be the guy in the bottom of the 9th inning to try to notch what would be a win here tonight. Came in the 8th inning after Burkunak had given up the leadoff double. He walked Childress to put runners on first and second. Strikeout, and then able to get the 5-3 double play to end the inning. What a play that was in the grand scheme of things. Made sure the inning ended and no runs scratched across. Righty on righty here. De La Cruz with 2 singles thus far, the 1-0. Whipping a miss at the top of the zone. For the Unicorns, they will have 7, 8, 9 due up. Wouldn't be ultra surprised to see a pinch hitter for Essien. Pitchman and Hewitt again available off the bench. 1-1, fastball outside.
De La Cruz could be someone to keep this top of the 9th going for the Hoppers. 2 for 3 today, 2 singles. Some speed on first and Juan Lopez Rios.
He's moving. Decent pitch to throw on right there, and a good compact tag by Hodo, but Lopez Rios swipes one here.
And that was good timing there on Rayburn's part. Throw it down to second, but pretty speedy. Rayburn will have a word with his pitcher.
Two and two on De La Cruz. Krenwich checks that runner at second base here. The pitch, slider away. Lopez Rios replacing Kreitzer, who walked after the two-run home run by Vaughn Jr. Aggressive secondary lead for him, but it doesn't matter. De La Cruz set down, and it's all about the pitching and the defense. The Hoppers looking for their first ever title when we get back.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
Tucker Rayburn will lead things off here in the 9th inning for the Unicorns. 7, 8, 9 due up. Brought to you by Zach Hart Agency. Big time two-run home run by Greg Vaughn Jr. to put his team in the situation they face here. Rayburn looks at a ball outside. Fielder's choice and an RBI in the second, pop out in the fifth, and a strikeout in the seventh. Pierce has 1 K so far here today. Chopped it foul. He took over for Brakunek after just one batter in the 8th inning. That's really the first time I think we've seen any manager pull out a pitcher after just one batter. But it happens at this point in the season. And again, there is no cap on how little or much. I mean, there's no cap, I guess, anywhere in baseball on how much you can face. But Major League has the 3-batter minimum. Here's the 1-1. Slider in for strike 2.
And I mean, especially with a threat like Childress, it makes sense.
Yeah, lefty on lefty. Big lanky lefty and Brakunek. The 1-2 on the ground to Castellano. They're 2 away.
Yeah, Rayburn was able to sit back on that one, but just didn't give it enough oomph. Break through there. That'll set up John Hodo, and honestly, Jeremy, when I think back to it, he's come up pretty big in some games for the Unicorns as of late. I feel like he's been a frequent guest on the post-game show not too long ago.
First pitch to Hodo. Slider in for strike one.
Yeah, this is kind of the point in the game, though, where you can definitely feel the energy shift. It's up to these Utica Unicorns bats to change that.
Hodo has scored 2 of the 3 runs here today for the Unicorns. In the 8-hole again. 0-1 tipped into the glove, an 89-mile-an-hour fastball there. Ready and ready, the 0-2. Fastball away, sinking at 87 miles an hour there. Everybody at pretty normal depth. The outfielders are in with Hodo at the plate here. There's a look. Big pitch up coming here. Not going to be easy. Castellano gloves it, has no play. And all of a sudden, the tying run comes to the plate again.
Yeah, that took too much of a high hop for him to get his glove on it. Didn't even attempt. But Hodo displays that speed and makes his way down to first, breathing some life into the bottom of the 9th for the Unicorns.
Top of the order, all of a sudden on deck as well. Things might get a bit interesting here. We see some action now in the Unicorns' pen. Jack Ferguson warming up in case they tie up this game and it goes to extras. Hodo leaning a bit there as Pierce checked him. I don't think they're going to have another situation where somebody just walks to second. I mean, Unicorns are not going to do that in this scenario either. Don't want to run yourself into an out here. Fly ball to center. McConnell chasing it back into the wind, curving to the warning track, and the oohs and ahs indicate what that situation meant.
Yeah, Lambert had me for a second there, seeing McConnell backtrack the way that he did. Close to the wall, but Hodo identified it, got back to first. And that'll send up Frankie Luxka. Luxka with 3 doubles during the regular season. Currently 1 for 4 today with a single and 2 RBI.
Had a walk back in the 3rd inning. Walks have been kind of few and far between here today. Just a few on the board for Hopper's pitching. Hodo dashing to second. Defensive indifference here as he takes second base with 2 outs and the game on the line. Probably let that run score on a single unless it's apparent to try to gun him out at home plate. Here's the 0-1. Checked it, and he did not go. Luska saying, as they appealed a little late there as well.
Luxka commanding presence in the batter's box. Very good conductor of the count.
The Unicorns have just 1 extra base hit. That was Galassi with the double to begin the 8th. He was stranded at second base the whole time. The 1-1. Cue balled foul down the 3rd base line. So the Unicorns down to their last strike as Pierce exhales here. Colby Johnson on deck in case Luska reaches here. Waiting in the 1-2 now. Swinging a tapper to the right side. Castellano can't get it. Hodo rounding the bag, but he won't chance it. And now all of a sudden the winning run comes to the plate in Colby Johnson.
Well, I mean, Castellano did what he could to stop it there. A bit of a tricky play, but the Unicorns have a way of making their way on base. Just doing their best to get down to first, putting the ball in play. Works.
Colby Johnson today is 0 for 4. Pop out, line out, ground out. To this point in 4 at-bats. Number 5 is pivotal here. Slider away, 1-0. Here in the 9th, the line against Pierce. Ground out, infield single. Hodo now stands at third after the defensive indifference bag at second. Fly out. Single by Luska. 5 runs off 8 hits and no errors for the Diamond Hoppers. 3 runs off 10 hits and no errors for the Unicorns. It's been a pretty clean game defensively, with some tough infield singles to get.
Hodo's ready to go at third. Johnson very calm in the box.
Some of the cell phones out to possibly capture a large moment on either side here. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Barreling fastball at 89. And Johnson took his best cut at it.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to put the home run swing on one of these pitches here from Pierce.
Medium depth for the outfielders. The infielders back here with 2 outs and a strike. 1-1 held there by Aberette, but called the ball. Pierce, you can see the reaction there, maybe wanting that call. He's all of a sudden in a sticky situation.
Definitely not shy to try and pick off the runner at first. Get them out quick.
The reliever of the year comes set. Here's the 2-1. On the ground, sounds like he broke his bat, but it dies a winner as this game is a 1-run game all of a sudden.
Oh, Johnson came up big there, 0 for 4 during today's contest. And Jeremy, how great of a storyline would this be? Drew Galassi now making his way into the box. Bit of a lull. We're not hearing the boos, we're hearing the Drews throughout the ballpark. That'll call for a meeting on the mound with Nochi.
There's no action in the Hoppers' pen currently, as Paul Nochi brings the whole infield together here. Nochi, a couple seasons in the major leagues with the Cubs and the Reds. An all-star at the AA level in the minor leagues. A long career as a coach as well.
The defending champs aren't going to go down that easy, Jeremy.
Looking for 3 in a row with a win here today. The winning run on first base. And it's some speed in Colby Johnson. Galassi, line drive, left field. That baby is going to get down and fair. No, they call it foul. My goodness. The Unicorns are celebrating. They called it foul. Did they not? Or did they call a ground rule double? And now Hayden Pierce has been ejected. Is this game over or not? There's a little confusion. The Hoppers are wondering exactly what's going on. The Unicorns are celebrating what they believe is their third straight championship. And now Paul Nochi is going to make his in. Aberette is heated. Wow, what a subdued reaction all the way around. The Unicorns celebrating. And there's been no indication on what's happened in this game, really, by these home plate umpires.
Well, Jeremy, just watching from up here, it looked like it dropped in fair. But now with all the confusion.
So the problem is that the ball hopped out of play down the left field line, just to the left of the foul pole. It looked fair on the replay. But if that's a ground rule double, the winning run does not score because Colby Johnson was on first base.
But let's talk about that aggression from Galassi in the box, swinging at the first pitch there to make something happen. That's certainly something, all right. I didn't realize that it bounced out. So that makes sense when you're talking about the ground rule double.
I mean, there's no real indication on what they're ruling here either. I mean, the game, no doubt, should be tied. The ball, I just watched it. It went clearly out of play to the left of the AAA or the Chevrolet Pavilion. But the problem is, and that's a good point by our director, P.J. Gradowski, Pierce, I believe, has been tossed from this game. Aberette, I don't think, was, but he was in the face of Gary Wagenschutz at home plate, and now they're going to have to work through the substitutions. What a wacky end to this game.
Wow, I mean, yeah, no action in the pen.
Please, after review of the video, that was a ground rule double, putting runners at second and third in the game this time.
Well, Johnny G announcing that it in fact was a ground rule double. So, the run by Frankie Luska scores. Colby Johnson should stand at third base here. And how about Drew Galassi? Not a home run, but a flaring double. It almost looked like he was shooting for the opposite way there.
Yeah, I know, especially when we've dubbed it as the Galassi shift. I mean, most of the time, whether that shift's in play or not, the defense.
Now, wait a minute. Pierce is still on the mound, but he's been ejected, has he not? And I guess maybe it was just Aberette. I mean, the home plate umpire just threw him a ball, so he's obviously not been ejected. I think he'd notice. Goodness.
So I believe that's Horner now in catcher's gear.
Yeah, he was playing right field, so.
Oh, is that Krishina out in right now?
There's Aberette departing. He's still not happy as he's taking his equipment out of the dugout and heading to the home clubhouse here. Boy, it doesn't get any closer, though, on the ball, just hugging the line as I watch it yet again.
And may I have your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Now playing right field for number 25, Will Krishna. Colton Horner moves from right field to behind the plate as the catcher.
So we do have Will Krishina out in right field now. Colton Horner has made his way behind the dish for the Hoppers. And that'll send up Noah Childress. Critical piece in that 3-4 punch here for the Unicorns. Extremely consistent as of late. It's that line drive power.
And just kind of rewatching that play for the third or fourth time, the home plate umpire is going up with two fingers the whole time. So that was never really in question. Maybe the Unicorns thought it was a home run or that ball still stayed in play because they celebrated like, I mean, Colby Johnson theoretically scored, but he didn't because it popped out when he was on first base.
I mean, from my view here, because we have kind of like the monitor here, I didn't see it bounce out like you said. And then looking back, the umpire, the double up the entire time.
Well, still a chance to walk it off here. Runners on second and third. 2 runs in here in the ninth. It looked like the Hoppers had control of this game. Pierce still out there as that one is caught by Abaret. That matters because a ball that gets away here in a fairly lengthy backstop is the ball game most likely.
Childress hitting .286 with runners on.
Here's the 1-0. Slider away, 2-0, open base, but not sure. I mean, maybe you want to do that here. Isaac Phillips on deck. Definitely has less power than Childress does, but all you need in this scenario is something punched in the outfield.
Yeah, Childress isn't going to be overly aggressive here.
2-0 outside, 3-0. Jack Ferguson has been warming up lately for the Unicorns. He has stopped and is ready to go. Nobody in the pen for the Hoppers. They have tried to keep the ball in the hands of Pearson. They'll just intentionally walk Noah there on a 3-0. And now Isaac Phillips, already the 8th batter to the plates here in this inning. Single, single, ground rule double, intentional walk. To get the traffic on the base pass here. First pitch to Phillips, a fastball straight, but in there for strike 1.
Phillips has only had one opportunity in the regular season. One at bat with bases loaded. He's not able to get a hit.
The magnitude of this situation, certainly the largest you'll see, the 0-1. Digs up some dirt as Horner gets a piece of that. Again, if you're just tuning in, Abaret has been ejected after the craziness happened. That's the best way to describe it, I think. Ground rule double. Unicorns thought they had walked it off. Not the case. Trying to do it still here with the pond full of ducks. Winning run at third, the 1-1. Swing and a liner foul.
Smaller sample size for Phillips during the regular season, 36 at-bats. But was pretty consistent against right-handed pitching.
Pierce comes set. The 1-2. In there for strike 3. The wave of emotions, and we're going to extra innings. What an effort by this Unicorns team. It looks like they were dead in the water after Greg Vaughn Jr. hit a bomb off the scoreboard in left center field, and we're heading to the 10th for the second time in this playoff series.
Attention Michigan, there is absolutely no need to drive all over town searching for new flooring. When the Carpet Guys will come to your house on your schedule, we'll bring our store to your door so you can shop in the comfort and privacy of your own home. And you'll love our huge selection. Buy right now with interest-free financing for up to 4 years. You can carpet your entire home for as little as $11.99 per month. Let the Carpet Guys take the stress out of buying new flooring. Call for a free in-house shopping experience today.
Be wise, call the Carpet Guys at 855 for my guys.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA councils.
Jack Ferguson probably didn't think he was going to come in this game just an inning ago, but all of a sudden he pitches in a tie score, Jenna.
Yeah, no, this game is kind of going the way that no one really anticipated, but still brings with it that excitement that you see and expect for Championship Sunday. And Ferguson primarily operates off of 3 different pitches, really uses that two-seam and slider, throwing that two-seam over 60%. Sprinkles of the changeup here and there. But for Ferguson's stats, throughout the season had an ERA under 1, 4-1 record, but that was through 22 1/3 innings of work. 21 strikeouts throughout that stretch with opposing batters hitting .275 off of him.
Jack Ferguson will face the top of the Hoppers order here.
And the top of the order knows how to get it done. McConnell consistently finding his way on base. Seems like there was a stretch where he was just drawing walk after walk. But now here today, 0 for 4, has an RBI. Right now, since Adam De La Cruz was the last out,
De La Cruz, your runner at second base. The last out in the 9th inning as we're into that international tie-breaking run rule here. McConnell shows bunt. Second time we've seen that in the last couple innings. Oh, 1, pretty good one if it stays fair, and it will. Good play by Lambert to make sure it didn't hook back like we saw the other one earlier.
Yeah, but nice effort by McConnell in the batter's box, trying to get that one down. But it always kind of becomes that guessing game when you're over at third base or on the corners and you know you didn't get there in time, so hoping it rolls foul.
And now this is interesting, Jenna, because we talked about Juan Lopez Rios coming in that DH spot. They don't have another substitution on the bench in this game, as this one is a swing and a miss, and Juan really can't hit. I mean, it's going to hurt. I guess if he has to, he'll just maybe get up there and take a bunt or take a swing, but it's not something that's going to be very comfortable for him.
Yeah, but I don't know. You kind of make that decision as a player, too, if you want to make that sacrifice.
Horner today 0 for 4. As that fastball rides outside, I believe.
Yeah, Horner has been taking some aggressive cuts here today, has popped out twice, grounded out to short, and struck out in the third.
And Cruciano was the other player on the bench, but he had to come in right field for Horner because he went in to catch, with Albarrán being ejected. Poked it to right. Johnson and Hodo. It's Hodo who takes it. 2 down, keeping that runner right at second base.
Well, as a fan, this is the kind of action that you want coming into a championship game, going into extras.
Jack Ferguson, too, is such a change of pace from everything that anybody has seen in this game at this point. And this is ultra hard for him with the lefty Castellano coming to the plate. He's 0 for 4. The huge home runs we've seen in this game overshadowed a bit from what we just saw in the last inning by the Unicorns. Resilient. Like, yes, we want that third straight ring. 1-0, slider away, 2-0. Burke with the solo shot in the 7th. Kreitzer with a huge home run a batter later as well. And then the 2-run home run by Greg Vaughn Jr. Pop to right. Johnson nearly misplayed it, but he took a couple steps back, read it well, and in the end, that's the 3rd out. 1-2-3 for Jack Ferguson. He's pumped up as he heads out. And Colby Johnson hoping to get another chance at the plate possibly here on the USPBL network.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's, $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Hayden Pierce still out there. What a crazy time it's been for him. He thought maybe the game was over just based off the reaction, but a play in the 9th inning where the Unicorns had already scored 2 runs to tie the game. Came in down 5-3. Drew Galassi hitting a ball, hugging the left field line. Just fair. Hopped over to the left of the foul pole, so ground rule double. Colby Johnson was the potential winning run at first base. So in that scenario, not allowed to score, moved to 3rd. The 1 run did score. But the Unicorns thought they had walked it off and won their 3rd straight.
Yeah, in a moment like this as a pitcher, you really have to dive in deep and continue with that energy and throwing with conviction, especially with the international tiebreaker in place. And Curiel, a consistent bat in this Unicorns lineup, making his way to the box.
Just listening to some Major League broadcasters and talking about what this has done for Major League Baseball in terms of putting the runner on second base. Runs obviously much more likely to be scored in extra innings than not. Burke inching in. Curiel swinging, though. Takes a big rip, but loops it directly foul to our left.
We have Phillips out on second. Was the last out.
Outfielders play Curiel medium depth here. It's some good speed on second base. That's exactly who you want to be the last out in that situation. With the bases loaded, obviously not ideal, but ideal here. Good secondary lead by him as well. Slider off the plate outside. 1-1 on Curiel now.
Feels like Phillips was toying with him a little bit when Pierce was looking back, just kept inching closer and closer to 3rd.
I think we've seen a lot of viewers join us based off these late inning situations here, so we welcome you all. A wacky game thus far into extra innings here in the 10th. 1-1 off the plate outside, just barely. Horner, the new catcher, trying to pull that back in. Tucker Rayburn on deck, the scheduled hitter. Jim Essian still has 2 available on his bench if he wants to go to them. The 2-1. Ooh, another arching swing and a miss. 87-mile-an-hour fastball.
Curiel entering the postseason, hitting .202 against right-handed pitchers.
It's a big pitch here. You want to establish the tempo. Ooh. That's not what you want to do. Get picked off in that situation. Phillips got back quickly, though. .42 pitches for Pierce thus far. He threw 17 last night as well. Obviously a quick turnaround here in this one. No action in the Hoppers' pen. The 2-2 slider on the ground. Tough play. De La Cruz kept it out in front. And an odd one as well for Phillips, as it was literally right in front of him. So he scrambled back to the bag pretty alertly there.
Yeah, that's heads-up base running by Phillips there. You don't want to get caught. Double play. If De La Cruz was able to snag that one. But it seems like those kind of weird fluttering hits or grounders have just been working for the Unicorns here today. But they're a team that can consistently find their way on base, and that's what's so important.
And obviously you want to record the out, but a bit better and more comfortable situation here with a force at first, second, or third. With Curiel now standing on first. Burke playing behind him. First pitch to Rayburn. Line foul. PTSD maybe for the Hoppers as that one goes in the same direction.
Yeah, off lefty's bat. And that's still just so crazy, the amount of emotions that we had. I mean, a team could technically be celebrating twice here tonight.
Hodo's on deck. He's scored 3 runs in this game. In his last 3 at-bats, all singles, 2 of them infield variety. Whatever way you can get on. Here's the 0-1. In on the hands and lifted foul. 5 runs off 13 hits and no errors for the Unicorns. 5 runs off 8 hits and no errors for the Diamond Hoppers to this point. 2 runs in the 9th inning by the Unicorns has extended this game into extras. 3 home runs in total by the Hoppers today in very large fashion, each of them. Here's the 0-2. Flopped it back to the screen.
Rayburn in 28 at-bats in the regular season. Had 7 strikeouts.
Pierce would love one here. Paul Noce hoping he can get through this inning. The 0-2. Swing and a tap foul. Just by a thread.
Barely getting a piece of that one.
Good production by the bottom of the order here today. Rayburn has got himself an RBI. We told you about the 3 hits and 3 runs by Hodo. 2 hits by Kevin Lambert at the bottom. Hewitt and Pitchman still available if they need them here. Pitchman with some power. Off the bench for Jim Essian. The 0-2. Slinging it foul. You can see Pierce kind of watching Phillips as long as he can, and then Phillips again breaking out of the corner of his eye to try to maybe lead as a distraction. Hush silence again as he comes set and looking his way back to second.
You can see Adam De La Cruz was shaded just a little closer to second base there. Phillips covered in dirt in that white uniform.
That happened very quickly. He dove into second base in the first couple innings. Still no outs here. The 0-2, swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. The slider outside. Pierce continues to gut through this performance, his third strikeout.
I mean, he's getting the job done. Talked about it. It's a bit of a tricky situation, pitching-wise, now for the Hoppers. That'll send up John Hodo 2 for 4 today with 2 singles.
Fitting for him to maybe knock the winning run in. First pitch to Hodo, line drive to the right center field bat. That's going to get down. Heading to third base is Phillips. He's around, and he's going to score! 3 in a row for the Unicorns. Can you believe it?
Wow. Hodo doing it again. He has come up clutch so many times this season for the Unicorns and does so here where it matters most. Championship Sunday. Unicorns with a three-peat.
John Hodo earning his second USPBL ring with a line drive to right center field. A guy that was hitting under 200 for the first 2-3 months of the year rose his way up to 275, checking into this game here today. And the Unicorns have dominated the USPBL since it was established 6 years ago. You can order your 2021 USPBL Unicorn Championship t-shirts right now. Pre-order at uspbl.com/shop/2021champs. Those same shirts that they are celebrating with on the field right now and about to put on.
Wow, Jeremy, I mean, we both predicted it would have been the East Side getting the win here tonight.
How dare we doubt the now 3-time champions?
Well, no, they were able to get on base when it mattered most and able to string those hits together.
Well, as they set up the stage, we're going to step aside and have some more post-game analysis for you here on the USPBL Network. The Unicorns, the champs, here tonight.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we're unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me, stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you.
People keep repeating that you'll never fall in love, and everybody keeps retreating, but you can't seem to get enough. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. Players still celebrating on the field here today. John Hodo walks it off. The USPBL veteran in his second year. RBI single to the right center field gap. Plating Isaac Phillips. In the end, the international runner at second base. He had to wait a bit to make sure that ball wasn't in the area of being caught in the right center field gap.
Yeah, that was tough because it did go right in the gap there, but made the right call, and it was easy for him to track down across home plate. You can kind of tell both of the outfielders gave up on it a little bit because they know that they would not have been able to get that back in time.
There's John Hodo sharing some hugs. A look at the trophy. Willie Martin handling that.
And it's so fun having the conversations with those guys who are on the development side, Jeremy, because there's so much that goes into this league and trying to get these players ready to go on to the next level and stay ready in competition. It's been fun learning about the DVS system this year and just everything that's gone into practices to build up to this moment.
It's a pretty nice trophy, and we talked about it earlier. It's a really nice set of rings that they end up giving out. Unicorns have had 4 out of the 6 of the USPBL Championships in its history.
Lessian does a great job manning that ship for the Unicorns.
It's been here since the start, 2016, the first year the USPBL was in existence.
Yeah, the grandkids get another ring after today.
But that's true, yes. I'm sure they're happy about that.
Yeah, the Unicorns, the easy favorite here when you look at the different teams across the league. Helps that most of the ballpark is in their theme.
And a factor overshadowed in this game, 3 home runs overall by the Eastside Diamond Hoppers here today. Joe Burke had a solo shot in the 7th. Nick Kreitzer had a solo shot in the 7th as well, and a 2-run home run by Greg Vaughn Jr., which felt like that was the gut punch to left center field. It was high and deep and a huge moment. And their best reliever on to try to close it out in the 9th inning. He was looking for the win, virtually, as they gained the lead after he came in the top of the 8th inning and gave up just a walk. But a messy 9th inning. Ground out by Tucker Rayburn, infield single by John Hodo. He scores 3 runs today, a part of 4 total runs from the Unicorns here today. Kevin Lambert was the second out quickly in that inning, but the inning would not close after that. Single by Luska, single by Johnson, and then all the controversy after the double down the left field line by Drew Galassi. It jumped out of play. The Unicorns thought the game was over, and they had walked it off at that point. Abaret was ejected. Not sure if he was arguing fair or foul or just the whole gravity of the situation. But an odd one, no doubt, as Noah Childress later was intentional walk. The bases were loaded, and Pierce got a huge strikeout to Isaac Phillips in the end. And let's send it down to Chelsea Estes for this ceremony now.
That's right. The 2021 champions go to the Utica Unicorns. This is the third straight victory for the Unicorns, the fourth total overall. I mean, you guys, that was quite a way to finish. I think my heart's still racing. I'm sweating a little bit here. Awesome way to go out in the true Unicorns fashion to prove that you guys are really the true champions, right? Yes. All right. Well, first off, we're going to go to Andy Appleby. He's the owner, commissioner, and CEO. So I'm going to let Andy say a few words.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say thank you, first of all, to all our great fans. You stuck with us through all of this COVID, and we can't thank you enough. Secondly, I'd really like to thank my staff, almost too numerous to mention, but certainly Dana Schmidt is not too numerous to mention. She's our Chief Operating Officer. You all know her and love her, and she works tirelessly here, as do every single person on their staff, to really make this the best environment in America. I also want to thank the players for being so great this year, and really every year. You know, we've had 500 players here over the course of 6 years, and not one has ever really messed up at all. No incidents whatsoever. So tremendous character from these kids. And without further ado, I want to present the USPBL Championship Trophy to Jim Essien for the third time.
All right, Skip, would you like to say a few words about your wonderful team?
Well, like Andy said, it's just been a marvelous experience to be here. Wonderful fans, and it's so intimate and friendly and fan friendly, and my team just did a great job. Very proud of them.
Absolutely, well deserved. All right, I'm going to head over to the Director of Player Development, Willie Martin, who's going to present the MVP award.
All right, first of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. We have wonderful fans. Thank you guys for sticking around. It was probably the best championship game the USPBL's had. And we want to thank the Diamond Hoppers. They had an unbelievable season and put up a great effort today. And a congratulations to Paul Nochi for a great season and all he does for this league. And without further ado, we want to introduce this year's MVP. He had the game-winning base hit and RBI. The starting second baseman, first team, all USPBL. Been here for 2 years and has been probably the most consistent player in the league, John Hodo.
John, this is so well-deserved. We talked a few times as you were my player of the game throughout multiple games this season. All right, one more interview. What was it like? I mean, being the MVP for the championship, just put into words what you're feeling right now.
Oh, man, it's amazing. Well, first off, I just want to thank God for everything. You know, without this wouldn't be possible. You know, I got to thank Willie, Duff, everybody, Diesel. Man, just everybody just played a part of this. Even the grounds crew just getting things together, man. Just want to thank everybody. It was awesome.
It's well-deserved. I mean, give him one more time. Your MVP, John Hodo. And your 2021 champions, Utica Unicorns.
Well, impressive stuff here today. The Unicorns, their third straight championship. Didn't come without a little flair, or a couple flares at the end.
Yeah, like Willie said, that's one of the more thrilling championship games here the USPBL has had.
And the champagne comes out. Fun moment for all these guys. Certainly at the professional level. Jeremiah Hergod's going to get sprayed there with the camera on the field. But
at least he has the hat. Sunday best.
Miguel Sereno just got bathed. He was a big piece to the pitching staff as well.
Yeah, really all these guys have been fun to watch throughout the regular season. The Utica Unicorns displaying their dominance with the three-peat.
Well, what a great season once again here today. We want to thank all of you for watching. Great audience here tonight from what we understand. Thank everyone that also contributed. A lot of interns making this happen. People behind the scenes. You can head to uspbl.com/shop/2021champs again to get your Unicorns Championship t-shirt. Again, that's uspbl.com/shop/2021champions. Your final thoughts on this season, Jenna?
I mean, this is my first year with the USPBL, Jeremy, and I went to Lawrence Tech, so the baseball team would come and play here. So I always saw like how fun it was, but never was here for the league itself, but really just seeing what each of these teams have done and really the individual journeys with all of these players. You think back to some of the guys and, you know, they were the COVID cuts within the minors. Some made their way here to the USPBL, some coming out of college, looking for that next shot. Noah Childress, one who comes to mind from the NAIA, making his way here to the Unicorns. Someone like Hodo, who spent some time here in the previous year and coming up big as the MVP. But just seeing the individual journeys between all these gentlemen, Jeremy, what they've been putting in time in and work with the DVS system, spending time with the development staff, and really looking at the Unicorns in general throughout the regular season. Obviously, they had the first seed, so we've just really seen that display, the pop in their bats. The stats don't always necessarily reflect it, these players not hitting over 300 heading into this championship game, but hard outs, able to work at bats, very disciplined, and taking some really good cuts and coming up big when they need to, as we saw here, getting players on base.
Well, good stuff here today. Another champion in the books in the USPBL. The Unicorns have 4 out of the 6. The Beavers, the other 2. The Mammoths and the Hoppers still looking to crack the scoring column. And as you heard earlier, expansion still in the works from Commissioner Andy Appleby. You can rewind to hear that interview just at the end of the pregame show, but there could be some more teams in another stadium or 2 being added in the next 2 to 5 years. So that will be something to track for our whole crew all this year. My broadcast partner, Jenna Rose, Jason Ross Jr., Willie Martin, everybody that we work with on air this year. My name is Jeremy Otto. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you next year.